want the routine use of antibiotics banned from factory farms. We want a world where everyone, regardless of their ethnic or economic background, has knowledge of and access to healthy food for their family. We want a world in which heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, obesity, and diabetes are rare, and in which vibrant health is the status quo. We're spreading the word and standing for change. Join this movement and support this mission. Join this movement, support this mission, stand with us as we together vision what is possible for healthy people and a healthy planet. Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody to day 3, our final day of the 3-day plant-based coaching workshop. If you're new to us today, welcome. You've missed a lot, but we're going to have an incredible day that is so worth your time today. If you're already part of the Food Revolution Network community, if you've already been with us for these last couple of days, hello again. Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm Ocean Robbins. It brings me great joy to be your host for this special 3-day workshop experience. I'm joined again today by an incredible team of experts, including Tracy Garrigan, Founding Director and Program Manager for our Plant-Based Coaching Certification. And we are so excited to bring you into this day. Now, first, a little recap. In the last couple days, with you and our experts, we have been on a powerful journey. On Friday, our focus was on nutrition, and we dove into the power of plant-based nutrition to transform lives. We were with dietitian Brenda Davis, Dr. Michael Clapper, Roman Pollock, PhD, RD, and Nicole D'Andrea Russert, RDN. And we saw the incredible power of our food choices to change the course of our lives and our destinies. Yesterday, we focused on coaching and the incredible power of coaching to help people to become activated for intrinsic motivation to be able to remove obstacles and transform lives. We were joined by Melinda Cohan, Makina Duewa, Howard Jacobson, PhD, and of course, Tracy Garrigan, and many, many of you for a phenomenal day. And now today, we're going to be focusing on impact. We're going to look at the many creative ways that our coaching graduates are making a difference in the world and the ways that you can make a difference in the world. Over the last couple of years, we've seen hundreds of people transform their lives through our plant-based coaching certification program, and each of them has a unique story and a unique path. Whether they're shifting careers, starting a new chapter in retirement, integrating plant-based coaching into their existing healthcare practices, or using what they have learned to create community-based change, we are so inspired by what our plant-based coaching graduates are doing, and we want to share some of their stories with you and some of their methodologies with you and help you vision how you could make an impact in the world, how you could advance the food revolution and making a real difference for people, for society, and for the planet. We'll dive into all that more in just a minute, but first, a little bit of housekeeping. So for those of you joining us on Zoom, please note you may, if you have the broadcast page open and the Zoom open, you may have my voice twice. If that's true, mute one of them. That's a really good idea. Okay, now, if you're on Zoom, please leave your questions at any point in the Q&A box, which you will see at the bottom of your screen. If you are, there's a little icon for it. If you're watching us on the broadcast page, you can leave comments in the comment section there. Please refresh the comments periodically as we go through the day so you can see the most recent ones that have been submitted. There's a button there to let you do that. Our moderator, Sky, will bring questions from the broadcast page over to the Zoom Q&A section on your behalf. So you can watch in either location, whatever you like, and it all works. We will have a Q&A segment after our presenters today are done, and we'll address as many of the questions as we can about the topic of impact. If you have questions related to our plant-based coaching certification, we will share more about that and have time for more questions and answers about it later in the day. If we don't get to any questions about the program that you're still left burning with, please feel free to follow up directly at certification@foodrevolution.org. Again, that's certification@foodrevolution.org, and we will be happy to support you there. There will be a replay of today's workshop segment. As soon as we finish, it'll go up on the broadcast page. And tomorrow we'll be sending out a link with a link to recordings for all 3 days, as well as transcripts. Now, as a loving reminder, we have created a workbook for you to capture key takeaways and resources and to make notes. That is, the link to that has been emailed to all registered participants. We will also post it in the chat here in the next few minutes in case you haven't already downloaded it and you want to, so you can use it to capture some of your top takeaways and aha moments here. You can also share some of those, by the way, in the comment section on the broadcast page. Now, a little bit about Food Revolution Network, who we are and what we're up to. So we were founded in 2012 by my dad and colleague, 2 million copy best-selling author John Robbins, and myself. Our mission is healthy, ethical, and sustainable food for all. We believe in the power of food to transform lives, to uplift human health, and to transform communities. We really believe that what we eat can have a massive impact on our destinies and on the future of life on planet Earth. Food can be the foundation of health, but all too often in the modern world, it is the foundation for disease. And the stakes are very, very high. The modern disease care system is phenomenally costly. According to the United Nations, it killed more than poor diet killed more than 40 million people on planet Earth prematurely last year. But even in addition to more than 40 million annual premature deaths, it's also causing suffering and sickness and dis-ease for millions and millions and millions of humans. It's also having a massive impact on the course of our planet. The modern diet has become one of the most environmentally destructive forces on planet Earth, ravaging ecosystems, destroying biodiversity, extinguishing species, fueling destruction of tropical rainforests, depleting our aquifers, eroding our topsoil, poisoning our lands, threatening the future climate stability for generations to come. And so the reality is that when we change our diet to eat lower on the food chain, when we adopt a more wholesome, healthy, ethical, sustainable way of eating, we can make a profound difference, not just for our health, but for our planet. So Food Revolution Network's big mission includes all of that. And we believe that plant-based coaching can fill an absolutely critical gap in this puzzle. Because what we've seen is that a lot of folks learn from us or books or films or other organizations about the power of their food choices, and they get inspired. They're like, oh my gosh, maybe I could feel better. Maybe I could live longer. I want to change. But then they slip back because old habits are tough to change, because the reality is it takes more than just knowing what to do. You've also got to learn how to do what you know. And in a toxic food culture, where so many of us have been conditioned and socialized to eat in a way that is actually out of keeping with our own best interests, it's not so easy to crack the code on human psychology and behavior and habit to be able to make real lasting change. And so a lot of people want to eat more vegetables. They want to eat more whole foods. They want to eat less processed junk, but they don't know how to make it happen. And that's why we believe that plant-based coaching can fill an absolutely critical missing link. And we developed the plant-based coaching certification precisely because we wanted to empower and train a whole cadre of folks all over the world to work in communities, to work in various audiences and groups with their own niches to help bring this message to the masses on a grassroots level. So for some of you who are watching, who are learning more about this mission, if you feel like you might want to be a part of this with us, we do hope you will consider joining when our next cohort launches in January of 2025. And you will learn more about the program later today. There are some amazing bonuses and discounts to be had when you get your fully refundable deposit in by the end of day tomorrow. We'll be telling you more about all that in the last hour of our workshop today. So make sure you stay to the end to learn all about it. Now, again, in case you haven't been with us these last couple of days, our plant-based coaching certification program is grounded in 3 essential elements. And that's kind of the focus of this workshop as well. We call them our 3 pillars. On Friday, we focused on nutrition education. That's pillar 1, nutrition, the importance of understanding how the human body works, nutrient needs, and so forth. On day 2, yesterday, we focused on coaching, transformation. We shared about our coaching methodology that's rooted in the science of behavior change and supported by years of professional experience. And now today is all about impact, amplification, how you can use learning and knowledge, maybe coaching skills, passion, to make a meaningful impact in the world. Now, if you joined us for the first couple days, you're going to find today kind of puts it all together. If you didn't, you'll be able to watch the replays later if you want, but today is still going to be super useful because I'm guessing if you're here right now, you are somebody who does want to make a positive contribution. You want to contribute to helping more people get healthy, and you'd like to learn how. You're in the right place. There's no single right way to apply what you learned today. You might end up deciding you want to work one-on-one or on a team or as a community advocate. The key is that if you want to create an impact, you've got to start with who you are, your own story, your own passion. There's a unique niche for you to make a difference in the way that makes sense for you. Now, with these 3 pieces, nutrition and coaching and impact, we believe that when you put them together, you get a synergy that is incredibly potent. And today we're going to be exploring 3 particular major pathways for a plant-based coach to become an agent of change. In the first section, I'll be interviewing Melinda Cohan about starting and running your own coaching business. She has helped more than 60,000 coaches get successful businesses going. Then I'll speak with Teresa Keppel about pursuing coaching as a career path, whether in a larger business or as part of a team. And finally, Dr. Scott Stoll, founder of Plantrition Project, and I will be talking about how to drive a lasting change for both people and the planet. And we'll be looking at strategies for shifting and changing the way that the world eats. There's no denying that this plant-based revolution we're talking about here is gaining momentum in cities, businesses, and homes around the world. In fact, the majority of Americans now say they want to eat more plant foods, and 52% actively want to do so. More and more people are changing their diets, but many people don't know how to do it right or make it taste good. In fact, about half of all Americans report making New Year's resolutions to add, at some point in their lives, more vegetables and plant foods to their meals, only to fall short. Most people today, whether they follow a plant-based diet or not, are frustrated with their weight or their health status. A recent survey revealed that nearly 1/3 of the food Americans eat leaves them feeling guilty. It's clear that change is needed, but it's also clear that many people struggle to make those changes on their own. So as we move through today's presentations, we want to encourage you to explore what it means in your life and maybe to consider whether you might want to become a plant-based coach yourself. Whether you dream of building your own business or working in established clinics or wellness centers, or whether you just want to learn more about how to make a difference in the world, we hope you will get some inspiration and some practical tools today that you might just want to use in your life. So consider the different paths we'll discuss and how you might align with them. This is kind of a choose your own adventure day for helping you envision how you can create the unique impact that you desire. Now, before we go any further, I want to share one of the things that I think sets FRN's plant-based coaching certification apart from other coaching programs out there and nutrition programs out there. And here to help me do that is the founding director and program manager of FRN's plant-based coaching certification, the one and only Tracy Garrigan.
Hi again, Ocean. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being with us today. Well, at FRN, I don't think most people know this, but we actually have a head of impact. I think that's one of the main things that makes us so different and special is just the ethos of our whole organization, thanks to you, Ocean. But we're not just about the training. We really focus on the impact, as we're going to unpack here today. As global leaders in this plant-based movement, we do bring the firsthand experience that we have when it comes to transforming lives and guiding others towards healing. Our commitment goes beyond the teaching, and we are dedicated to making sure that we share the expertise you need for continuous mentorship to ensure your success. So whether you dream of launching your own business or finding work in the world, maybe a position in an existing organization, or a combination of both, we're going to help you explore and clarify the path that best fits your goals and interests. So in today's interviews, we'll share some of the juiciest insights from our program, and we'll delve into defining your vision, identifying your target market, crafting effective, how to craft effective coaching packages, and build a strong brand that draws people in, the right people in. We'll also discuss how to align your strengths with career goals and the benefits of working in structured environments like clinics and wellness centers, and effective strategies for job searching, interviewing, and building professional networks in this field. Finally, we'll share how plant-based coaches can drive significant lasting change through community education, policy advocacy, and the grassroots initiatives that you so love us for, right? We have a lot of great content to cover today, so I'm going to just pass it back to you now, Ocean, to bring on the experts for today.
Okay, awesome. And thank you so much for that, Tracy. Yes, we've got some amazing interviews today. We're going to be starting off with Melinda Cohan on being your own boss. So let me introduce that section now. So, a lot of people would love to have more freedom and flexibility in their lives. Many of us don't love working for somebody else. We love the sense of feeling like an entrepreneur, being creative, being able to set our own timelines and schedules, being somewhat of the master of our own destinies. And building your own coaching business can allow you to create a career or a side gig or a fun little hobby that is uniquely tailored to your passions, your strengths, and your values. So we're about to explore some of the key elements that can help you succeed as an entrepreneur, if that's what you want, in the coaching field. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your approach, this conversation is going to be packed with some insights to help you thrive, if you want to, as an independent nutrition coach. So back again for this section again is Melinda Cohan, lead faculty for the plant-based coaching certification and the host of our entrepreneurship collection. So Melinda, a little bit about her now, is the business coach to coaches. She achieved fast success when she launched her own coaching business and quickly replaced the income from her previous job. Then she realized how this had changed her life, and she wanted to help other coaches grow their businesses. So in 2004, she became the co-founder and CEO of the Coaches Console, which is now a software that coaches use to streamline and run their business. She brings both her expertise in systems and self-care to help coaches eliminate business overwhelm while they are creating sustainable businesses without burning out. She's helped over 120,000 coaches since 2004. I think earlier I said 60,000. My apologies, Melinda. 120,000 I'm seeing here is the right number. And she and her team also bring the power of coaching and training along with her software to help coaches create a clear and realistic path to a business that they love. She's written 2 books, The Confident Coach and The Professional Coach. And she's also the host of the podcast, Just Between Coaches, which has been ranked in the top 2% of all podcasts. Melinda is also a dear old friend, and I am so thrilled that she is part of this with us. Welcome, Melinda.
It is so good to be here, Ocean. I love kind of just linking arm in arm with you and Tracy and McKean, everybody here to bring this mission into the world and to support coaches just in these new ways. It's so excited, and I'm very glad to be here.
I've got to be honest, Melinda, when we first started this program, I kind of thought you were too good for us. I was like, I knew how incredible your work was, and I was like, would you be willing to just take a look at what we're doing and maybe give us a little bit of feedback? I was hoping for a half hour of your time. And then you responded with how can I help? And I was like, well, are you serious? And you were like, yes. And now here you are leading a whole major pillar of the plant-based coaching certification program yourself. I mean, you are one of the most inspiring people I know when it comes to helping coaches make a living coaching, inspiring, and changing lives. And now here you are directly engaging tangibly with our program. I just feel so lucky. I just wanted to tell you that.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, any way I can help. This is what I've dedicated my life work to for 20 some years now. And I always love finding new ways that I can support coaches. So it's like the universe handed this over on a silver platter, and I'm like, yes, yes, yes. How can I help? So it's so fun to be here with you doing this.
Yeah. Well, those are the kind of synergies that just light me up, when a whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And hopefully a lot of folks watching are getting a little feeling of synergy being here today, because we are all creating something that I hope is bigger than the sum of our parts through this movement that we're part of together. So Melinda, I want to ask you, what inspired you to start your own coaching business, and how do you define your vision and goals for success?
Great question. My inspiration came from this deep desire to help people just be their best in whatever environment they found themselves in, just to live healthier, experience more fulfilling lives, and be able to grow that in whatever ways they define that to be. And I really see this world where everyone has access to just not only the knowledge, but the support, the community, the connectedness that they need to thrive, to fully let their light shine and live their God-given potential in this world, whatever that means. And the way that I did that, to achieve that, I have what I call my why be do statement. I learned this a long time ago from an early mentor of mine. And when I could identify why I do this work, and then how I will be, how I'm going to show up while building my business and doing the work that I'm here to do. And then the actions, what will I do to fulfill my goals? When I could break it into those three compartments, the why, the be, and the do, it became like the solid beacon. So when things were uncomfortable, because I never, I never wanted to have my own business. I loved being an employee. And then
Mm-hmm.
that's another interview for another time. But when I started my own business, I was like, I'm going to be in charge of my future. Nobody else is going to be in charge of that. And so it was uncomfortable because it was new. It was
Mm-hmm.
new tasks I wasn't used to. And so this why be do statement, like this clarity, helped me stay focused and aligned with my core values as I started navigating this terrain of having my business. And then I also set SMART goals. I'm guessing a lot of people here are familiar with that, but just in case, SMART, like specific, measurable, attainable, right? So it's very specific goals. They're time oriented.
Relevant and time bound, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Realistic ones, yeah.
And so when I could break those down, what is it for the next year, then the next 6 months, then 3 months, and then right now, when I could break it into smaller pieces, the overwhelm didn't consume me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to set those kind of goals for things like the clients that I wanted to get, or the income that I wanted to make, or like you were talking earlier, the impact that I wanted to have, and what did that look like? And that roadmap, breaking it down into those bite-sized pieces, like it kept the motivation there, it kept the momentum happening, it kept me on track, ensuring that my business would reflect my values and that I was enjoying the journey and then enjoying the destination when I got there.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Melinda, how did you identify your target market? And what tips do you have for other folks to help them find their ideal clients? I mean, the world's big. We all know if you post it on Google, like health coach, like you're gonna get drowned out, right? There's
Yeah.
there's millions, but of people trying to vie for that audience. But niching down is important. Knowing who you want to reach is important. What your unique gifts are is important. How did you do that, and how do you help other folks do that?
I actually took a slightly different approach. You said this phrase niching down, and I heard that for the first several years of my business. You must niche down. You must really get clarity on your niche. And the
Mhm.
clarity is vital because, like you said, you can't be vague. A lot of people make the mistake. If I cast a wide net and just say I can coach anybody that wants to be healthy, I'll reach more people. And that the vagueness gets us nowhere. The clarity is like a laser that gets us exactly the people that we can support and serve, that want to be served and supported by us. And so I took a little different approach because I didn't want to feel constricted. I wanted to feel like heart open, expansive.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of putting the attention on me, my kind of coaching, I started listening to the people that I knew I could help, that I wanted to work with. I started listening to what are their top challenges that are keeping them up at night in the area that I could help them in, right? And then I also started really listening in what are the outcomes that they're describing? What are the kind of results that they are most wanting if they could wave that magic wand? And when I started listening to them, and that's the tip that I have for everybody today, is to think of your target market not as a person, not as a demographic, but instead what I call pain island, the challenges that frustrate them and keep them up at night. And then the descriptions of the pleasure island, the results that they most want, right? What problems do they want to get out of and escape from? What dreams are they striving towards? And so that the descriptions of those, that's how I define target market. Because then here's the cool thing. Then a lot of different types of demographics might be struggling with the same challenges and want the same results. And now you're able to serve more types of people while staying focused on the challenges and results and the transformation that you can provide. So it's important, I think, to reframe this. Like a lot of people call it target market, some people call it your niche, the people you love to work with. It's important to reframe that to be inclusive and expansive. We don't want it to be limiting or confining. And so knowing your target market and the kind of people you can best serve allows you to begin to, now you can create your messages that speak to those people and those challenges and results. And you can tailor your services and packages directly to those who need them so that your business can be really effective, and it can be a rewarding experience when you're working with those that you really resonate with.
Thank you. One of our participants just asked this question, which I think is relevant, so I just want to bring it in. They said, I searched for plant-based coaches out of curiosity and found a lot. Most have beautiful websites and regularly post on social media. What advice do you have for those of us who would like to coach part-time and don't have time for constant marketing and social media posting? Should we be seeking out a part-time job with a doctor, clinic, or organization so we don't have to seek clients ourselves? If we decide to coach full-time, how do your coaches stand out, given that there are so many out there? I just saw that come in, and I thought it might be relevant to go there before we go to our next question, because I'd love to know
Yeah, it's a
your
great
thoughts.
question. So first of all, it is possible if you have a full-time job or a part-time job and you want to do this on the side. A lot of coaches do exactly that. They love this work they're doing. They don't want to give up the job, and they start their business. And some eventually will transition out. Others will keep it just like that. So it's totally possible. The other question that I would have for whoever wrote this in would be, when you are thinking about coaching people, is this going to be your primary source of income? You might need that bridge job for the first 6 months, 9 months while you're learning and building the foundations, getting that in place. But that, might like 6 to 9 months typically.
Mm-hmm.
And you might need to have, I call it that bridge job, some while you're doing it. So it's totally fine to do that. If this is going to be your sole income, then what I've just shared with you about really getting clear, less on less on the people that you want to work with and more on the transformation so what are the challenges? Is it like yesterday we had a few people asking questions about helping people that have ADHD want to live healthier, better lives, right? So that could be, it's like I've got this certain struggle because I want to do this, but I'm all over the place. I don't know how to stay focused. And so there are some coaches that want to support that staying focused, living a better life while you're also, right? And so you can begin to get more specific with the types of results and the types of transformation that you want to help people provide. And then that is going to help you stand out in the sea of everybody. That plus, here's what makes you unique. Your life's journey, do not discount it. Do not say, oh, well, that's, I just did that. No, 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 no. Your life's journey, your lived experience on this journey of transformation that you've had with plant-based eating and living a healthier life speaks massive volumes. And when you share your story, people, it's like that old movie. This is going to be kind of silly, but I'll say it anyway. Remember that old movie when Harry met Sally? And at the end, there's like this one scene, I'll have what she's having. It's like that. When you share your story and you let your light shine, people resonate with that. And then
Yeah.
it's like, I want what you've got. Can you help me?
Yeah. I think one other piece I want to touch on is there's a frequently held mistaken belief that in order to get clients and win in coaching, you've got to like be ranked high on Google, for example. You've got to like that's called organic traffic, right? It's awesome. It's like being a best-selling author. It's great. And it's very few people that are going to be bestsellers, right? Almost by definition, because they are the best, right? And they're a very small, they're like the 0.01%, right? So great. That's what you'll find in the top 10 in Google for any category for that thing, right? So niching is great, organic is great. It's rare to win at that game, and you're up against some stiff competition, just like being a best-selling author. But you can still write a book that might reach 5,000 people who might be your ideal clients, and that's plenty to build an amazing business. Or, you are the only you that actually knows the people you know. So you've got something Brene Brown doesn't have, right? Like you've got relationships, you've got a story that's yours, and learning how to leverage that and build on that. So you actually become the engine for your own niched, potent community ecosystem is part of what, Melinda teaches. So you're not up against the big fish, so to speak. You get to be your big fish in your pond, right? In the world you occupy, and how to stand in that with pride and integrity and clarity and be a magnet for the people you can serve.
Yeah, exactly.
Melinda, how do you teach coaches to communicate their unique value proposition to potential clients?
Yeah, this is one of the things that a lot of coaches, they're like, oh, I don't feel good putting myself out there, or I'm nervous, or who am I? And when those villains start getting in our heads, and when it feels new, it's kind of uncomfortable. So I give a very simple formula, right? And there's a few ways that you can do this. One of the things that I love is if I were to sit down with each of you, and I said this phrase, as it relates to plant-based eating and helping other people live healthier lives, most people believe X. But what I know is Y. When I can have a few moments with you and share this with you, it's going to transform your thinking about this. And most people, when I sit down with them, they're like, oh, yeah, the world says this, but what I know, blah, blah. And so there's a little nugget of what is starting to help you be uniquely you and stand out that's in alignment with your values. And it's like, oh, well, I can talk about that all day. And so we find those little nuggets for how to talk about what we do in a way that others get it. I also share a 5-part, very simple conversation formula, because a lot of times a mistake that people make is they're like, well, so what do you do, McKinney? McKinney, I'm just picking on you because I know you don't do this. And McKinney says, oh, I'm a coach. Like that's a hard conversation because now it's like the end of the sentence, period. That's it. But when there's a 5-part formula, super kind of fill in the blanks, it helps you be clear and confident to convey the transformation that you offer, which is what you do, who you are as a coach. And this method begins to help us resonate with potential clients. It also helps the people that we're talking to listen to say, oh, I get what you do. Let me introduce you to my friend Susie or this person that I know. And so it builds trust and demonstrates the unique benefits that people can expect when they work with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. I'm curious, how did you create your coaching packages? And what advice would you give for someone who's thinking about how to develop a compelling offer?
The first thing that I would say when it comes to putting, however you're going to package your services, it again goes back to what I said earlier. What do your clients most need? I am a big proponent of reverse engineering. So many people let their enthusiasm drive it, or the passion for coaching, to say, here's the kind of coaching I'm going to do in my package. But instead, what is the results that you really want to see people get? Some typical results. And then what do your clients most need along the way, so that as you go on this journey and you're coaching them on this journey, they're going to reach that destination. And so we start with that minimum viable solution, like the simplest package that includes the necessary components for success. For example, like let's say, I offer a plant-based essentials package. And that would be more for just people wanting to get started. Maybe they just want to dip their toe in. And so you could have an essentials package that really just gives them the mindset, the thinking, the fundamentals that they need to have in place for a plant-based lifestyle. But then you might also have a second coaching package. You could call that your total results package, your life transformation package, your plant-based eating total results package, right? And those people that resonate with that are going to be the ones that really want that complete lifestyle transformation. And so rather than just saying, hey, do you want to get coaching? Offer two options. Let's get started, dip our toes in, and let's go for total transformation. Because when your packages, if you notice, those are just kind of some very simple titles, but if you notice, they focus on the results, not just time spent. And so if I'm hearing this, I'm like, essentials. Yes, I just want the essentials. That's one I resonate with. Or if I'm like, no, we're going for it. I want complete transformation. So I know I resonate with the other, and that's the experience I want. Because remember, clients are more experienced, and they want to experience that transformation. They want to experience the results. That's what they're really interested in. And when you can reverse engineer and you start out with the results and then what's needed to have in that package, then it helps to determine the time duration of that package. And it also begins to help us get clear on our pricing and what the different packages include. And that builds the trust and makes it easier for clients to choose the right experience for them.
Yeah. One of the things that I love doing at FRN, it's kind of built into our DNA, if you will, and I know it's a part of what you teach as well, is this notion that you offer free content to a larger group, and then you offer paid content to a smaller group.
Yeah.
And the essence of that is that, for example, this workshop is free, right? That's pretty obvious. Everyone who registered here is not paying. We're offering 9 hours over the course of 3 days of incredible wisdom from brilliant experts, and we're able to do that for free because, of course, we're also inviting folks into the plant-based coaching certification, and some of you will be inspired to join in that, right? And that's what makes the economics work. And then we can broadcast widely and enroll a lot of partners in spreading the word and take out ads and promote to our community. And 33,000 people are here, right? We offer the Food Revolution Summit every year completely for free. 400,000 people will join in by the end of the year this year for the summit, all free, lots of transformations. And enough of them are purchasing the empowerment package to fund all of that outreach. And so it grows, right? And I love the notion that we get to give generously and abundantly, regardless of economic resources, to everybody. And then for those who are moved to go further or go deeper, there's a paid product or resource that's available. And then that helps fund it for everyone else.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just a really sweet business model that that can be incorporated in all kinds of niches. And quite frankly, the internet helps a lot with that because it's so affordable to deliver content for free and you can reach wider audiences. So I just wanted to mention that because part of what we teach and what you teach, of course, in this program is more in depth how to get the word out about free resources and then how to funnel, so to speak, those folks who are a right fit into a paid resource. And that's part of how you build a brand, right?
Yeah. And if I can just share one quick tip about talking about the paid packages and those paid versions. One of the things that we teach inside the program that I am a big advocate for, so many people in this space they have time-based approach to pricing, setting their prices, X per hour, X per session, X per month. And so it's the trading time for dollars. And there's a lot of places where that's appropriate. What I find is in coaching others, if you're interested in having a coaching business, I really encourage you to not adopt a time-based model, but a package-based model. What is the package and the experience that my clients ideally would have that when they show up and do the work, they're going to get the results? Because the package-based, when you can bring other resources. I remember one of the students from the last cohort was a nutritionist, dietitian. And so she had all these recipes. I mean, I know you guys give recipes as well. And she had all of these other resources that she brought to her clients, not just the coaching. And so when she had a package approach, the pricing could reflect the true value of what's included and the transformation. And so a lot of times when people set the time for money approach,
Yeah.
it can really limit the revenue you can make, the kind of people you can work with, the extent of the services that you can offer, and it kind of puts a cap on the impact that can be had.
Yeah.
And so adopt that package-based pricing. So you're creating pricing that's in alignment with the transformation. And then it can become easier because then it only takes a few clients before you're able to transition out of a job, or just a handful of clients before you realize this is reliable and consistent income that's count onable and I can have a business out of it.
Yeah.
So just a tip in there about that.
And put yourself on the client's perspective for a second. They're not really interested in more time. They're busy.
Right.
They
Right.
want results.
Right.
If
They
you
want
can get them the
results.
same results and it only takes you
Yeah.
and them 5 minutes instead of 5 hours, don't you think they'd like that better?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's also an important piece. Yeah, some people want friends and they want as much time with you as possible, but others will probably want the results more. So it's a great approach. Thank you. Melinda, what steps did you take to build a strong brand, and how is that helpful to attracting your ideal clients?
It really starts with understanding the vision, like that why. What are you here to do? And getting really clear on your core values. Like that's going to help you how you show up. And the more consistency you can have with that, the stronger you're building your brand, right? Let me just say this quickly. Your brand is not your website. Your brand is not the colors. Your brand is not the graphics or pictures or images or your logo. As fun as all that stuff is, those are a reflection of your brand. They're visual elements of your brand. And so when you know your vision, the kind of person you want to work with, Pain Island, Pleasure Island, the transformation you are passionate about, your core values and how you show up, the consistency in that is what establishes the brand, whether you have a website or not. You can have a thriving business without having a website. I know that might blow the mind of some people, but when you can have clear messaging, your core values, the vision, the mission, and you align that with consistency, now your brand is not about you, the person. It's about the people you serve, and it's about the transformation that you offer. That's what your brand should really represent. And then you can choose designs and images and colors that appeal to your kind of target market that you want to work with, and that it conveys, pictures speak a
Thousand
thousand
words.
words.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so you want to have that, but they're reflections of it. So avoid getting bogged down, especially in the early stages of your business, with things like logos and website. I've seen people waste
Mhm.
5, 8, 10,000s of dollars and months to get that right. And then I'll put myself out there. It's backwards. That's why it takes so long and so much money. It should not have to be that difficult. So just focus on delivering value, understanding your client's need, and then as a result, the brand will evolve organically and it'll continue to attract the right clients. So let your brand reflect the authenticity and dedication of what you're here to do and the impact you're making.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. One last question I've got to ask you about. We heard from Liz, who said, who out there will pay for this service? What are the typical low end and high end annual incomes for coaches who might be doing Whole Foods plant-based coaching full time. And relatedly, I'm just curious kind of more broadly if you can talk a little bit about, yeah, like what are some of the benefits to this lifestyle? And what are the challenges of it? What do people want to assess when they think, is this for me?
Yeah, so when talking about that question, what's kind of the range here? Will people pay for this? Yes, people will pay for this. And in the 20 years that I've been doing this, I'm not just saying yes because I'm supposed to say yes. Like in the 20 years that I've been doing this, I have seen every niche. I could give you examples of every niche, however unique it is. I was just telling somebody the story last night. We once had a snake charmer who used that skill set for kind of like a meditative, hypnotic, kind of a therapeutic approach with their clients. And I'm like, well, that's the most unique thing. Had a very thriving, profitable business. And so you can create whatever degree of income you wish to create. Now, the assumption that I'm making here is that tip that I shared earlier. When you take a package based approach to putting your services together, and you take result-based pricing and you're conveying the value of the transformation, you're going to be able to generate more income from that approach than a time-based approach. Like you said earlier, Ocean, people don't really want more of your time. Some people do. But when you have a time-based approach, if you say, hey, Ocean, I'd love for us to coach together. I'd love to be your coach. It's X amount per session or X amount per hour or X amount per month. What that automatically does in the other person's brain, it's like, wait a minute, how can I get the most for least? It triggers that part of the thinking. And so now they're already like, how can I want more time, but I don't want to pay as much, which is why the I can't afford it is one of the biggest objections out there for people. But when we have the package approach and we convey the value of the transformation, people invest in value. They invest in their priorities. They invest in what's important. They invest in making that change. And so it's a lot more efficient and effective to build a profitable business. But, one of the things, just to give you an idea, and this might kind of convey a little sense of throw up in the throats of some people listening in, but when we teach, and we teach this inside the program, when we teach the two different packages and we go through what's involved, a starting point for that entry package, if you should not be charging less than $2,400 for that. Now, there's a lot that goes into what's included and how does that work and the time it takes and all this. We get into that in the program, but when you've got your clients that they're investing at $2,400 instead of $25 an hour or $75 an hour. Now the business and the economics of it are more effective. So you can absolutely make money doing this. You can be profitable, and it's just a matter of to what degree. What are those revenue goals? What is important for you? Because it's going to be different for everybody here.
So,
I think I answered your question. Did I answer?
Yeah, you did kind of. I want to go a little deeper, but first I want to make one quick point. I think that when we look at results, you hear $2,400 and some people are like, oh my gosh, that's so much money. Yeah, well, last time I checked, cancer was pretty expensive too.
Yes.
So was dementia. So was feeling like crap all day long. So was even missing 1 week of work because of sickness.
Yeah.
Right. So the truth is that being sick is more expensive than health almost any day of the week. And really, if people aren't wanting to invest, it's because they don't see the value and they don't believe they'll get the results. And that becomes the critical piece. How do you focus more on that? And don't price yourself down, but stand for your value and also gain the skills so you can really offer that value, right?
Yeah.
We're not teaching huckster salesmen here like, oh, I'll change your life and you'll never die. And no, that's not what this is about. We are here to help you gain this confidence, like competent, legitimate, earned confidence, right? So that you can actually start where you are, build up testimonials. Typically, we encourage people to do some free services first, build up a testimonial bank and get their sea legs under them, build some confidence. And then you can move forward confidently to say, wow, look, I can create results in people's lives and here's how it's going to work, right? So there's a path to this. But when we look at the destination, it's about you being well supported, commensurate with the quality of the value you are adding to people's lives, right? So
Exactly.
Melinda, just quickly though, like people are curious, there is no data on what a Whole Foods plant-based coach or a plant-based coach can earn because there's not enough statistical significance yet. Like we don't have a lot of data pool yet. This is still an emerging field. But coaching is not an emerging field, even health coaching. And you've worked with 120,000 coaches to help them make a living. So what do you see as like what are some ranges of what is normal for people
Yeah.
to earn as a part-time or full-time gig when they're doing this?
Yeah, so again, I'll say this, the assumption I'm making is you're following a guide who's helping you understand the competence, like you said earlier, Coach Ocean. When you know what you need to know and you know how to approach all the topics about business, and you're doing that in an intentional, conscious way, most of the coaches that I encounter are making anywhere from 60 to 75, $76,000 a year. And what I find more important is that people are doing it by choice. There are some that want to go beyond six figures because that represents more of an impact. They're working with more people. They're helping more lives. Others, there's this one gal, Renee, she's like, look, I'm retired. I'm in my 60s. My husband and I want to travel, but I love coaching and I want my coaching income to foot the bill for our travel. And so she's like,
Mm-hmm.
what that means for her and her husband, she's like, I need to make about $40,000 in my business. That's it. And so for her, that's what success means. And so that's the
Mm-hmm.
beautiful thing is that when you set up the elements of your business, no matter what size you want it to be, it makes it easier to know how to put yourself out there, how to talk about it, how to convey it in a way that's going to resonate. So whatever your revenue numbers are, whatever your targets are, it's achievable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. All right, Melinda, fascinating and fabulous discussion. Thank you so much. We're going to move now. Melinda will still be with us for some questions a little later when we'll get to more questions with our whole panel. But we need to move now to our next interview segment of today, which is going to be with Teresa Keppel. So let me share a little bit about the context here. So a lot of people are drawn to the idea of becoming an entrepreneur and starting their own business, but that's not the path for everybody. Some of you might be thinking, I'd rather have a job. I'd rather be part of a team. I'd rather take my existing career path and complement it with some plant-based coaching skills. Maybe that can help me get a raise and offer more value in the work that I already do. There's a lot of potential pathways here. And for some people, having some stability and some collaboration and some structure, working in a team where somebody else is ultimately responsible for the marketing is appealing. And some of you may end up wanting to explore finding employment in a clinic or a wellness center or some other health-focused setting that gives you a chance to leverage professional skills in a supportive environment with like-minded colleagues around you. So that's what we want to focus a little bit on now, and to help us navigate and explore some of the options is Teresa Keppel, a certified nutrition consultant and our Impact Pillar faculty member who crafted the employment collection for the plant-based coaching certification. Teresa brings her background of more than 20 years of business and leadership experience to mentoring women entrepreneurs who are building heart-centered businesses that nurture their souls. She is a women rocking business leadership coach, and she guides women to overcome mindset barriers that hold them back from believing in themselves and to identify the next steps to growing their business while motivating them to take courageous action towards their success. Teresa feels the path of an entrepreneur is a spiritual path and that coaching them is her form of service. In addition to being a business coach, she is a certified nutrition consultant, and she's passionate about helping people to find out how good their body can feel when they feed it whole foods. Teresa, welcome.
Thank you, Ocean. I'm excited to be here. I love being with all these people that are in line with what I love about working in health and wellness.
Awesome. So happy you're part of this with us. So I want to ask you, what steps can someone take to identify their strengths and align them with their career goals in health and nutrition coaching?
It's a wonderful question. And I always say when you're starting any path like this to find out where you want to go is to start with your own self, with you. What are your personal values? What are your intentions? Like, what do you believe in? And really, we've heard this a lot today, but what are you passionate about? Once you have clarity on your values, you can then assess your strengths and skills. So think about like who you want to work with. Do you want to work face to face with people? Do you want to work in an educational aspect? Do you want to do research and be behind the scenes a bit? And if this is a second career, which it was for me, still think about the skills that you gained in your past career because they can be very helpful for you as you go forward to find employment in this area of health and wellness. Even if it's not health related, I use a lot of my project management skills in the things that I do, still with helping other people. And so also consider areas of like specialization or targeting. You heard the word niche, but again, who is it that you would like to help? Who is the people that, maybe play with your heartstring a bit, that type of thing. Make a list of these values, your strengths, target populations that you'd like to work with. And then finally, identify companies out there that align with your values and start researching employment opportunities that those companies have or those fields that those companies are in. And this alignment will ensure that you're pursuing a career that's both fulfilling, aligns with your values, and helps you make an impact.
I want to get kind of granular here and help people really picture the field of what's possible. So what are some of the possible kinds of jobs or professions that could be looking to hire a certified plant-based coach, or that might find someone who has that certification more valuable? Can you tell us what's out there?
Absolutely, Ocean. There's a lot of places out there, and sometimes there's places that you don't normally think about. But of course, there's always health and wellness coaching. So there's health centers, there's wellness centers, there's gyms, there's fitness studios that look for coaches that will provide dietary guidance too. And a plant-based certificate will add specialization there. That's a special set of skills. And there are people now that want to know more and more about plant-based. You hear it more often talked about a lot. Corporate wellness programs are also another place. Companies offer employee wellness programs. They're learning that as their employees are healthy, they're better workers. They're not stressed as much. They're not, going out on sick leave and that type of thing. So a plant-based coach can help design programs that encourage those healthier eating habits. And that can improve, lead to the improved employee productivity and then also reduced healthcare costs, which a lot of companies do look for. There's also healthcare settings, like some doctor's office, especially specialized doctors who believe in holistic or integrative medicine, acupuncturists, chiropractors. They may employ or refer plant-based coaches to support their patients. A lot of them like to have them transition to a more plant-based diet. I know myself, I work with an acupuncturist. I was first a client of him, but as I got into health coaching and he knew that I was doing that, I worked with my acupuncturist as an employee with him, helping him help his other patients get healthier, doing classes, etc., chiropractors and that type of thing. And so a lot of them know that plant-based is a very important part of their treatment plans. There's also public health organizations such as nonprofits and government agencies that are focused on the public health. They find value in hiring plant-based coaches to lead community health initiatives, educational programs, campaigns promoting healthy eating, and a lot of things like that. There's also nutrition and dietetics, registered dietitians and nutritionists. Maybe that you're also adding in this plant-based certification. You'll find expanded opportunities in clinics, hospitals, private practices, and those that cater to clients seeking plant-based dietary advice. I, in fact, just looked on the website the other day and saw Kaiser looking for or was teaching classes in plant-based education, so plant-based nutrition. So, it's becoming much more mainstream than it used to be. Also, health food stores, plant-based companies, product companies, businesses that might hire a plant-based coach. They want you to provide advice to their customers, perhaps get recipes out there, lead workshops, or create educational content that promotes their products. Again, I worked in a health food store when I first started working too, and they were really excited to have my nutrition-based education to help promote the products that they were selling. Culinary arts, cooking schools, restaurants, or catering services are focusing on ways to expand into their plant-based cuisine, and that could benefit from your expertise. I know we've had several chefs in our programs, and I find that so exciting that they're, in using their plant-based knowledge in their area of chef and creating cookbooks and that type of thing. Weight loss centers are also getting way much more aligned with plant-based and eating even just more whole foods and more plants. Because, of course, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're adopting a healthier eating pattern, that can be very effective. You can also be doing media and content creation. Plant-based coaches will work as writers, content creators, influencers, and they focus on promoting plant-based nutrition. You can have blogs, social media, books, as I said, recipes, and that type of thing. There's also educational institutions. Schools and universities are now offering courses on nutrition, a lot of them on wellness, on sustainability, and those might hire plant-based coaches or to teach or design curriculum there. Retreat centers, that's another good place. And there's wellness retreats or spas that offer holistic health programs. And they may want plant-based coaches to lead workshops or cooking classes or provide individual coaching sessions. There's also research and development. Again, if you're a more behind the scenes person, companies and organizations involved in research related to nutrition, to health, again, to sustainability, they might find value in plant-based coaching expertise or developing new products or new programs. And then I also like to combine some loves. You might want to consider things that like environmental organizations. For instance, climate change is really important to me. And I see a very, a much of an alignment between climate change organizations and how plant-based eating can help our planet. Animal advocacy groups is another place that might align with your values, that align with your plant-based lifestyle. These skills could be put to use in these organizations. So as you're looking to help people eat less animal products. And those are, quite a few lists, but I think the list is growing too. Plant-based eating is becoming much more mainstream than it used to be, Ocean.
I mean, mind-blowing, really, Teresa. If anybody listening is a little overwhelmed and is like, oh my gosh, how could I possibly take notes on all that? Well, good news, you will have access to the recording of this later, and also the transcript will be going out over email, I think, tomorrow. But that's just phenomenal. Now, we did have the question from anonymous attendee, one of our folks in the Q&A, where are these jobs posted? I can't seem to find any online, and I just wanted to say that this is an emerging field. It's not like there's one database where you can just be like, okay, here's how to apply for all 75 jobs in the plant-based coaching world. We're kind of developing / inventing this niche, if you will, but we're looking at how it links to all these other sectors and areas, right? So what you can do is, with all the things Teresa just mentioned, there were like 13 or so different areas. Like there's a whole cadre of organizations, businesses, a whole world there, really. So it depends what your niche is and what your interests are to explore and find out. If it's health and wellness centers, maybe it's because you've got a background. Maybe you've got an aunt who runs a spa somewhere. Like, what are your connections and resources, right? Like, if you're interested in health food stores, well, what are the natural food stores in your community, right? It doesn't really matter if there's a natural food store on the other side of the world that's hiring a plant-based coach, like, unless you want to move there, right? So, like, finding your niche interests or area is critical here, right? But I think what we're trying to do is show you the panorama of options here is immense. I believe in a biodiversity of approaches to social change and movement building. And the truth is we need all hands on deck. So whatever your skills and resources and gifts and passions and callings are, maybe that aligns with the right niche in the world. You only need one parking spot, right? You don't need 1,000. So we're showing you lots of options here, but ultimately all that really matters is what is your path. And in the program, we do try to help you like explore the options and then hone in on your path. So Teresa, I want to ask you, in that light, what are the key components of a compelling resume and cover letter in the health and nutrition industry? How does one want to present oneself?
Correct. And good. And that's, again, another good question. And everybody who's been out in the job search knows that a compelling resume and cover letter are essential when you want to stand out in the health and nutrition job market. And what I've heard and what I've learned from our own FRN, Mila Young, our head of resources here, human resources here at FRN, is that the most important thing about your resume is to cater each resume you submit to the expectations, the qualifications, and culture of the organization you're applying for. So it's okay. And I've done the same thing. I have a resume that's really, really long and has all the things in there that I have done in my past jobs and in my current coaching career. But you want to make sure you target it to the skills that are relevant to that organization. Your relevant skills, your education, your experiences, particularly to those related to plant-based coaching and nutrition. You want to have specific achievements and how they align with the job you're applying for. Your cover letter could be tailored to each job application. You demonstrate your passion for health and nutrition coaching and explaining why you're a great fit for the position. Tips for industry professionals, like what FRN looks for in its applicants, can also be valuable. AI tools will really help you in this particular area of optimizing and considering what your professional resume should have.
Yeah.
I often dump my huge resume in with the job description from the AI tool, and it will really help me align. And that's where I start with my resume and my cover letter. So craft a strong resume and template cover to start with, and then customize them for each job application.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. And ditto on AI, like ChatGPT in particular, being a great resource when you learn how to use it, which is one of the things we focus on. You know, it's incredibly powerful for helping you get feedback, think things through, and even get solid first drafts out the door once you ask the right questions and give the right context. A lot of people like think AI is a savant and they don't give it enough information, and then they're disappointed when it doesn't give them useful and relevant responses. But it's all about learning how to use the tool. Teresa, how can someone effectively use online job portals and networking strategies to find opportunities in health and nutrition coaching? One of our participants said you can try Indeed, LinkedIn, etc. to find job postings. But what more would you say there?
Yeah, well, that's actually very true. You want to have a strong online presence. That's the way a lot of jobs are found out about right now. It's in this digital world, it's really important. So you do want to set up job profiles on, popular job sites. Again, I'll talk about Indeed, LinkedIn, and FlexJobs are some of the three that I think are most used out there. Search for job opportunities in health and wellness, and don't forget that these job sites also have really wonderful training classes. So they'll help you in your job search, whether it's just about finding a job. And to the people that said, where are these things? Many of them, like LinkedIn, have groups. There are groups for plant-based, there are groups for vegan people. There, search for all of these type of terms, and you're going to find a lot of resources on all of those sites.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just going to talk a little bit about networking. It's equally important, online and offline. You'll want to connect with professionals that you know on LinkedIn. That's a really good place to connect with people. You can attend industry events, both from these job sites will have them and things that you'll find in your local area. Participate in online forums and groups related to health and nutrition. And networking to me is just valuable in finding job leads and connections. Another thing I want to mention, which I did a lot of when I first started out and people don't think of, I volunteered. I offered my time at events such as health fairs. I went to animal advocacy events because that was something that interests me, again, and plant-based food functions. When you volunteer, you make great connections. So again, one of the things I want to tell you about, and plus it's a lot of fun. I met a lot of people that were in the same space, in the same, mindset I had, which is what you're going to love right here at FRN. You're talking to the same people that think the same way you do. So some of the action items I want you to think about: create your online profile. You apply for job listings that align with your values and what you would like to be doing. Look for industry events, and really and truly volunteer, because those are great ways to find and network.
Yeah, so good. I want to just speak a word to the power of interest groups for building trust and connection. when we like to do favors, we're very social creatures. We like to do favors for people we love and care about and feel connected to. And so whether that's a church group or a faith community, whether that's an ethnic group, people who are, for example, African Americans often support each other, right? Jewish folks, I'm from the Jewish community. Like when you're connected with a group that's aligned around some value, some background, some culture, some history, there's actually a tremendous potency there. The same is true around food. People who are passionate about plant-based eating, it's a small group of people that have often had to buck the system and go against the tide, and that builds a sense of allegiance and loyalty. When people get that you are having a sense of values that is aligned with their own values in some area, then that builds trust and connection. And volunteering is one great way to meet such people. There are others, but I just want to say, like, joining interest groups is powerful when you add value and people feel that, they naturally are in reciprocity. They want to give back. So
Yeah.
not just asking what can I take, but what can I give and how can I serve can be a wonderful stepping stone towards building a circle of reciprocity that opens all kinds of doors towards lives and careers. Teresa, what are some effective strategies for preparing for job interviews in the health and wellness field?
Yeah, so preparation and prepare. That's key to job interviews in the health and wellness field, really in anyone. But you want to start by researching common interview questions specific to the industry, and then practice those responses. You can find them on the web. We also supply some of those for you in our program. You wanted to develop concise and impactful answers that highlight your skills and experiences. You want to create case studies and such as what I did and how I did it. And again, Melinda talked about results. You'll want to talk about the results of you working with someone, whether it's even just a friend or a colleague that you helped, not necessarily a paying client. Get some testimonials with people that you have worked with. Success stories from your coaching experiences. Again, even if it's just friends that you've worked with or showed them, some tips and tricks that you know. And then during the interview, you want to demonstrate your plant-based nutrition knowledge and how it can benefit the potential employer. Don't forget to prepare your own questions for the employer. So in other words, they're asking you questions, but this is a two-way street. Have questions you want to ask them about their values, about what they find important in the company.
Mm-hmm.
And then you practice active listening skills, which is, again, something that's a coaching skill. Maybe doing some storytelling with a peer to refine your interviewing skills. And being prepared will boost your confidence for sure, and then help you make a strong impression.
Yes, thank you. Last question here. Why is building a professional support network important? And how can someone start doing it practically in the health and nutrition field?
Yeah, building a professional support network is essential for now in your career, but also throughout your entire career. Having those people that are like-minded, that know and work the same things that you do, it will really help you build success in the health and nutrition field. A strong network can provide guidance. I often ask my acupuncture or chiropractor questions about things that are going on and how to help with a client. It'll help you with advice. It'll help you with job leads. It'll also just be ongoing support when you're in a network of people that know and think the way that you do. So you can start by connecting with your peers, and I'm seeing some chats going on here today, so people are already connecting.
Yes.
Mentors, yeah, I'm seeing that, I'm loving that. Mentors here, you've got a group of mentors right here in this program. Industry experts who you love to follow, which again, you can find them here through some of the contacts here. They'll give you valuable insights and opportunities. I would also reach out to local people that you either have heard about or you admire what they do. Attend industry events in your local area. Look for health fairs and other job fairs. And again, volunteering, because if you're volunteering, that's a really good way for people to see how you're engaged, how you can help, be excited while you're there, and then, possibly refer you and use you for other opportunities. So again, I like to look for people that I admire in my local area. And I also talk a little bit about informational interviews. There's some things we talk about during the program, how to do an informational interview. And maybe if you're some doctor that you like is having his own health fair or an open house, attend there. Social media is a great way to follow people. I bet most of you are following FRN. Find other people and specialists, join their email list, follow them on social media. And then networking, last thing I want to say is it's really about building genuine relationships.
Yes.
So take an interest in what other people are doing, be enthusiastic about it when you see them or when you're talking about it, and then be enthusiastic about your own work. Like, I'm really excited. I'm getting into plant-based eating, or I know what it's done for me in my life. Be willing to talk about this. It's talk about being proactive. And so that'll help you build a powerful, your robust support center. And that will only enhance your career.
Amazing, Teresa. Thank you so much. So just so everyone has a little sense of context here, again, there's 3 pillars to the plant-based coaching certification, and that's what we're kind of using for the structure of this workshop here. Pillar 1 is nutrition, which is our focus on Friday. Pillar 2 is coaching, which was our focus yesterday. Pillar 3 is impact, which is our focus today. Now, within that context, the impact pillar has 3 different tracks because people are in different spots, right? So track 1 of the impact pillar focuses on entrepreneurship, and that's led by Melinda, who we heard from a moment ago. Track 2 in the impact pillar, and you can do any one of these, you can do all of them, or you can do none of them, but track 2 is focused on employment, and that's led by Teresa. And then track 3 in there is the change maker collection, and that's where we focus on how to be an activist and how to change the world, and I'm kind of the host of that one, and that's where we're going to focus next here today. In addition, there's also a bonus, which is almost like another track, which we call the next level collection. And that is for folks who already have a business, or they get to a point where they have one and they want to scale and grow their impact. We'll talk about that a little more when we talk about the program and the bonuses. That is not our focus today because the majority of folks here today don't already have businesses. So we're trying to make this relevant for everybody. Now, I want to focus now on the next piece. And again, Teresa, thank you so much for your brilliance and being with us. And now it's time to focus on, I'm going to get to introduce Dr. Scott Stoll here. He is a renowned international leader in lifestyle medicine and whole foods plant-based nutrition. He's the co-founder of the Plantrition Project, which is an organization that is dedicated to promoting the benefits of plant-based nutrition through education and outreach. He also co-founded the International Plant-Based Nutrition Healthcare Conference, the International Journal of Disease Reversal and Prevention, and, as if that wasn't enough, the Regenerative Health Institute. Dr. Stoll's work integrates a regenerative vision of human health, agriculture, and the environment, and his passion is uplifting human and planetary wellness. For all the plant-based coaches out there, for everybody who's even interested in changing the world for the better, this conversation is going to provide, I hope, some valuable insights in how you can join this movement and make a real lasting change in human lives and see how that links to the entire planet. Welcome, Scott. So good to be here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ocean. I'm delighted to be here. And I just, at the outset, I would really want to appreciate you and everyone that's on here today. I've learned so much just listening from this amazing group that you have collected around you. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be a part of this program. And congratulations to you on this.
Oh, thank you so much. I want to start so folks can get a little background on you and what you're up to. Can you tell us about the mission and vision behind the Plantrition Project and what inspired you to co-found the organization?
Yeah, sure. Just very briefly, you know, this was going way back, almost 20 years ago. I just began to realize in my practice of medicine that I was not really helping people address the underlying cause of disease that was really eroding their quality of life, those things that people value most: connection with people, connection with themselves, the opportunity to share their gift and live a productive, joy-filled life. And I began to realize that the most important thing they could do is change the food on their plate. And through some research, I was finally led to understand that it's the power of your plate. And it's a plate that is packed with plants that not only begins to transform your health, but then I began to see the interconnection of that plate to everything else in life. And so out of that, we, recognizing it took me a long time as a healthcare provider to begin making changes in my own practice. We started a small conference in 2013 to educate healthcare providers, which grew into the Plantrition Project. And the mission of Plantrition Project is to educate, empower, inspire, and equip all healthcare providers and health influencers with the indisputable science of whole food plant-based nutrition and its power to prevent, suspend, and reverse disease, and its incredible potential to transform our planet. And so it's been such a great pleasure to be a part of the Plantrition Project. And that mission has really evolved as we originally started, reaching out to just healthcare providers. We began to realize that it's a team that needs to come together around individuals to enact change. And so we really have a strong belief that health coaches are an important part of the healthcare team. And it's really healthcare delivered through teams with a health coach kind of leading the individual change outside of the office that establishes the opportunity for somebody to make a lasting, sustainable change.
Yeah, so true. Thank you for that. Your work is profound, inspiring, and making a tangible difference in so many lives. Now, I know that in addition to being passionate about human health, you're also passionate, as I am, about helping make sure humans have a healthy planet. Can you speak a little bit about how our food choices impact our world and why you think it is that healthcare professionals and coaches should be thinking about the rest of life on Earth?
Yeah, absolutely. I like you. I'm passionate because when you think about human health begins with a healthy planet. And as humans, I'm 56, I'm stewarding the planet and the resources for the next generation by the decisions that I make every day. And I began to realize as I, started to think beyond just the transformation that occurs inside of someone's body when they put plants on their plate. And, as you know, it's at every level down to the DNA, began to see through an intersectional lens outside of that plate that those same choices that we make about the food that we put on our plate not only impacts my health, but it impacts the world. And it impacts the world because the 2,000 pounds of food that we eat every year, the 100 bites that we eat are coming from somewhere. It's a supply chain. And it's the farmers that are managing the land and the way they manage that land, including the topsoil. It's the use of currently animal agriculture, which is the leading cause today of deforestation, greenhouse gas emissions, loss of biodiversity, use of toxins in our environment that is eroding our planet at an incredible rate. In fact, there was a study that showed, as you know, that 80% of our land today is used for livestock. It's producing only 18% of the calories. So think about that. 80% of the land is producing 18% of the calories at a net cost of all of those things we talked about, deforestation, loss of biodiversity, and only 30% of protein. So we have this disproportionate use of this incredibly valuable resource that we're handing off to the next generation. And so when we begin to understand that plate, those choices that we make individually, the way that we're using our money to buy the food impacts the choices that farmers are making about what to grow every single year. It impacts the health of the farm family, whether or not they're using toxins. It impacts the use of soil, topsoil, that is one of the most critical resources that we're handing off to the next generation. We've lost at least 40% of the topsoil by the choices that we're making today. And so when we begin to understand the collective power of billions of people making a different choice every single day about what they put on their plates, it actually becomes very exciting because you can start to see this regenerative vision and opportunity by influencing people to understand the exciting opportunity of making a different choice about the food they eat every day, not only for their own health, for the health of their families and for the health of the future. And this is where I think health coaches really have a unique opportunity. Every physician sees on average about 15,000 people during their career. So healthcare providers have this exponential impact. But where health coaches fit in is, today healthcare providers have 10 to 15 minutes to see a patient.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough time to really enact lifestyle change in a culture that is not supportive of change.
You can't do like deep coaching practice where you ask lots of questions and that's not.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And it's, working to make a behavior change today in a culture that's not supportive really takes some, a health coach to fill that gap.
Yeah.
And so, for health coaches to step in as a part of the team and to take that individual and their family members and begin influencing change, helping them to navigate the choices they have to make at supermarkets, learning how to cook different foods, how to incorporate some fitness into their life, and then painting the bigger picture of the exciting opportunity to begin transforming the world as well through those daily choices, you know, helps me to really understand that a health coach and an army of health coaches like, Food Revolution Network is creating can be that spark that sets off transformational change for planetary health in the future.
Awesome. Thank you. And I want to just give folks a sense of the power of this here, like collectively, our food choices. If just theoretically the whole world went vegan tomorrow, I realize that's unlikely to happen, but just play with me for a second. If that happened, we would instantly free up an area of land equivalent to the entire landmass of the United States, China, the European Union, and Australia combined. That's how much land would instantly be freed up, which could go back to forest, which could be used to grow, carbon sequestering hemp farms. It could be used for whatever we in our creative ingenuity could figure out would do the most good to suck carbon out of the atmosphere, to create habitat for wildlife, to restore ecosystems, to build a brighter future for future generations. And we could also have some land freed up. So yes, organic agriculture is more sustainable and more regenerative, and it doesn't produce quite as much yield per acre, at least in the short run. Well, guess what? If we free up that kind of landmass, we can afford to go organic, let me tell you, and do all kinds of other wonderful things with that land that will make a better and brighter future. And so to me, like, this is just powerful stuff. And one other fact I've got to share, and I know you and I have talked about this, Scott, like mammalian biomass on Earth, the collective body weight of all mammal bodies on planet Earth, what percentage do you all think is humans? 34%. And then we've got another 62% that is our livestock. And then that leaves 4% for all the wild things of the earth. All of the giraffes and wildebeests and deer and elephants and wild horses and all the other wild animals on earth. And so what you can see is that we are ravaging ecosystems and turning wild lands into grazing land for cattle, land on which we're growing corn and soy, mostly for our livestock. 62% of the mammalian biomass is our livestock, right? So we're destroying the world in a sense. So we can feed the livestock, so we can feed us foods that are giving us heart attacks and Alzheimer's and causing us to die sooner than we want to or need to or should. And to me, this is so painful, but it's also so hopeful. So part of my purpose on earth, if you will, I think, is to help reduce that 62% and increase that 4%. And in the process, reduce the healthcare burden and help reduce the economic costs and the life costs and the devastation of a toxic food culture. And guess what? We can do all of that. So that's what's at stake here. And that's what we get to be a part of. And I think that's pretty exciting because there's a lot of problems in the world. There's a lot of fierce divisions of politics and opinions and a lot of cynicism out there, to be really honest. But when it comes to food, we get to be part of hope, real grounded, tangible hope that can really, really make a difference in people's lives and on the planet. And guess what? The rainforests don't care whether you go plant-based because you got diagnosed with high LDL cholesterol or because you're worried about the rainforest. They benefit either way, right? And for those who are concerned about ethics, animals living in factory farms get liberated from that life of misery and pain, don't have to live in that way either way, whether you go plant-based because you're concerned about them or not. And so I think the beauty of this convergence is that as a plant-based advocate, you get to be a part of the solution on so many levels, and you get to find your niche and the doorways in that work for the community you want to serve. Scott, I'm curious. Oh, we did have one question from Karen who said, how do we lose the topsoil? I didn't understand that. Do you want to just touch on topsoil loss and how that ties in here?
Just very briefly, as we have gone to monocropping these large fields, largely to feed animals, as you mentioned, corn and soy, we till the soil, these huge tracts of land, we plant seeds, the soil's exposed to the air and the sunlight, and it's tilled up, and then we spray toxins on there to kill the potential infections, and we kill the biome, the bacteria of the soil. So now the soil has no biomass because we've killed the bacteria. It's exposed to rain and elements, and it washes off down into the rivers, eventually making its way into the Gulf of Mexico. And so year after year, as we till the soil, plant these monocrops, water washes the soil away, we lose that all-important topsoil. So that was a very good question. There's a lot more you can learn at the Rodale Institute, who's kind of forwarding the idea of regenerative agriculture and the use of cover crops to protect that soil.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Scott, if plant-based coaches want to focus on systemic change, what are some of the strategies they might want to employ?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm going to start by just pointing out one quick thing. We think about systemic change, as you mentioned, the power of the plate. If we change the plate, we're going to save $3 trillion in healthcare costs, potentially 7 million lives, and 200 million years of quality of life lost. And so it's incredibly impactful. And so health coaches can step into this beautiful opportunity that not even healthcare physicians have. They can work right inside of their community as an educator. And I've seen lots of health coaches, start a monthly or weekly education program. I love potlucks, and I always advocate for potlucks. I think that's a beautiful opportunity for a health coach to start a local potluck. I started one here in Nashville, and it has been so fun to see all of the people that come and the opportunity to educate people that have never encountered this before by having a great meal and a nice conversation. So potlucks are another tremendous opportunity. Cooking programs for health coaches, working within kind of the socioeconomic or cultural context of the community in which they live to start an education program. It can be even in your own kitchen, where you have half a dozen people over and teach them how to make healthy foods, how to make breakfast, how to make a healthy smoothie, show them that this is doable and achievable and financially doable. I've seen lots of health coaches, and I really love this, do a grocery store tour to meet with a group of people and walk them through the grocery store. And a weekly grocery store tour can be a high impact opportunity for health coaches. Health coaches getting involved in education, at the local school level, working with administrators, sports teams and coaches, working with the local classrooms to go in and just do an education on plant-based nutrition, and to make it fun and to help people see that food can be fun and healthy food can be delicious.
Yeah.
And so, that's a beautiful opportunity, because that's the next generation. If we can reach them with an inspiring, fun-filled message of plant-based nutrition, then we begin impacting and creating generational view of food that brings life. Health coaches can also step in, and I've worked with several to do community gardens. You can do community gardens through places of faith, churches, faith-based communities. You can do them at community centers, even healthcare facilities, partnering with your local healthcare facility to start a community garden. And that community garden becomes this beautiful epicenter of community connection. People come together, they have learning opportunities about how to plant and grow food and how to grow something at your own home, tasting food, how to incorporate these foods into delicious meals. And really, the essential part is just connecting with people, because it's community and connection that fuels long-term change. And so those gardens provide this masterful, cultivation opportunity of relationship. So I really love that. It can be schools as well. School gardens are just lovely. We did that in Midland, Texas. And then finally, there's lots of policy changes, including school lunches and everything that local health coaches can be involved in. They're the boots on the ground. They're the people that may be listening to some of these things, and they can bring people together as a community around policy change. So, there's many, many more ways that health coaches can impact their community, but that's why health coaching is so essential for the widespread adoption, the scalability of plant-based nutrition globally.
Yes, thank you. So many great ideas. And I want to let folks know, in the Changemaker collection, that's one of the tracks of the impact pillar of the plant-based coaching certification. We go into all of this in a lot more depth, and we actually have a series of lessons that kind of take you on a journey. So we look at understanding community needs, how to advocate for policy change, how to collaborate with schools, how to establish community gardens, how you can partner with local farmers and food suppliers, how to engage underserved communities, and how to collaborate with nonprofit organizations. And we talk to real leaders in the field who are doing all of that, which is really quite extraordinary. One of the big things that I've been learning in this body of work is how important it is to get curious. Just like with coaching, you want to understand your client and who they are. When people feel understood and heard, they naturally trust you more for good reason, right? Because you can attune to them. The same is true with community organizing. If you want to serve a community, don't try to just come in and impose your ideas on it. Get curious. What's going on in the community? And build real relationships. And from that, you're actually able to make real and lasting change on a whole other level. So we go into all that and really look at how to get curious, what questions to ask, and how to engage. One thing I want folks to know is that there's actually quite a bit of resources out there on a community level for helping communities get healthier, be more beautiful, be more happy. And some of those can be tapped for things like starting community gardens or community wellness programs. And a lot of folks that we interview in the Changemaker collection are really doing that. Scott, I want to ask you before we complete our interview here, why have you and Plantrition Project chosen to support the plant-based coaching movement, and in particular FRN's plant-based coaching certification?
For all of the reasons that you just mentioned, I sincerely believe that your program, Food Revolution Network's coaching program, is the most important and powerful coaching program around the world. You have really looked at this process of educating health coaches through the right lens of empowering people to be successful health coaches, understanding the core of humans. And I love how you just said, we just have to get curious and make people know that they're seen and heard and love them into change. That's really essential. The intersectional lens that you look at through the plate through to see the global impact of food on animal welfare, on the environment, on underserved, under-resourced communities, on healthcare, on the finances of families and communities and nations. Your comprehensive approach to health coaching makes this program the finest coaching program that's available. And as an organization that is reaching out to healthcare providers and health influencers, recognizing the critical impact of health coaches, from the Plantrition Project's standpoint, we could not have dreamed of a better partnership and relationship in that partnership with Food Revolution Network, so that healthcare providers that we're educating globally can find and partner with health coaches to really reach and change individuals, families, and communities in the world, because it's that collective partnership that will lead to effective change. And so it's really our honor to be partnered with you, and our sincere honor to be partnered with all of the graduates of this program. We want to help you find clients. We want to help you find healthcare providers to partner with. And we want to be a part of this community that reaches around the world to bring change.
Thank you, Scott. It is such an honor to work with you. And really, I think I've always felt this kindred spirit in you that really likes to think about the big picture and then ground it in tangible, practical solutions right here and now. And we need that combination. Martin Luther King said we need tough minds and tender hearts. And to me, you really bring both of those, and it's such an inspiration. And I just want to give a tough mind data point for folks who are thinking, oh my gosh, how do I make money helping in this project? Well, just consider this for a second. In the United States, we spend 19% of our gross domestic product. That's all the money we spend on everything, on what we call healthcare, which is really disease symptom management. That's about $5 trillion with a T every year. That's in the US alone, which is 4% of the Earth's population. It's about 4 times the military budget, just for a point of reference. So if you think there isn't money here, to help people get well, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And the question you may want to ask yourself if you're thinking about starting a coaching program and, oh my gosh, can I charge $2,500 for a program? Well, if successful, if you are able to deliver value in people's lives, what is that going to be worth to them? right? Think about that for a second. And you should be able to make the case logically that it's at least a 10x value. If they enroll in your program and do a thing with you, and obviously you need the training and the skills to be able to offer a great program, but we're talking about the business case here. If you're charging $2,500, let's say, then can you deliver over the course of their lifetime $25,000 worth of return on investment to diseases that might not happen? Now we know that 80% of our chronic diseases of today, whether we're talking about Alzheimer's or cardiovascular disease or type 2 diabetes, probably 50% of our cancers could be prevented. Some of them could be reversed with healthier diet and lifestyle. So what is the economic savings of that? How much of that prevention can you help people get access to through working with them? And I think when you actually play out the numbers and think about it, the case is profound. And that's not even mentioning quality of life, like how good people feel, the ability to do what they love and live their dreams and play with their grandkids and volunteer and spend their elderly years making a contribution and enjoying their retirement instead of living in pain and suffering and fear and eventually death. So from my perspective, the case is immense. And then the question becomes, how do you get trained to be able to offer the value and then to be able to market the value so you can make this happen in your life? And the plant-based coaching certification is a part of that puzzle. And that's why we're doing this. And that's why we're so thrilled to be doing it with you, Scott, and with all the other folks. And I want to invite the rest of our panel to come on back on now. And we're going to have a little time for questions and answers here from some of the folks who've been chiming in to talk a little bit more about impact. So we've got Melinda back, we've got Scott back, we've got Teresa back. Welcome, everybody. So great to see you all. I've loved getting to interview all of you. So let's see, we've got a few questions coming in. We heard from Ivana, just with a thank you. She said, thank you for the great information and the important work you're sharing with us. God bless you all. Thank you so much, Ivana. Oren said, is there a way to see the sessions from Friday and Saturday? And yes, we'll be sending out replays from all 3 days as well as transcripts, I believe, tomorrow. And then today's workshop will be on replay as soon as we finish today. Lisa said, I signed up this morning to be a part of this course and I can't wait. Thank you so much for your teaching, access to all this information, and your dedication to making the world a better place. Thank you, Lisa. I do want to say just a moment here about the making the world a better place part. Like, I think that's part of what's kind of unique about our body of work is that we are drawing in people who want to make the world a better place and who value that, and I think you can feel that. And that's part of why the program goes so deep and there's so much trust, because when you're around kindred spirits who feel moved by a sense of service and a sense of desire to contribute, that builds a safety. You're around people who are asking, how can I help? What can I give? How can I serve? And then we're also looking at how you can be sustained in doing that, right? And I love getting to do that. I love helping healers to heal. I love helping servants to be supported, because I know that that investment pays off so many-fold in the impact they can make, the impact you can make in the world. Let's see. We heard from Carolyn, who said, I'm a psychologist, also a certified integrative mental health professional. For my clients who are open to learning, I want to use plant-based eating in my practice because as goes the physical health of the body, there also goes the mental health. Any suggestions for me? Yeah, any of you want to answer that one?
I mean, the suggestions, it could be any or all of the above of what we've talked about today. I'll take it back to what I shared earlier. It goes back to your why and how you want to show up. Like, how do you want to be in this world? Do you want to, business is one track where you're handling all the things behind the scenes to make sure you can have the clients and do the work. Teresa shared with you, there's the track of, I don't want to have a business. I just like being an employee. I love doing this thing and I'd love to get paid to do this thing because it can be a both and world. Or a combination. So I think it really comes down to sitting to, what resonates with you? What do you like? What do you not like? I talk to so many people, they're like, no, thank you. I do not want to have to think about any of that stuff when it comes to having my own business. Okay, that is really good to know. Don't start your own business. And then you've got all of that insight from Teresa about the different opportunities where you can make an impact or the social impact. And it really just comes down, because I can't answer that for you. I don't think any of us can answer that for you. But it comes to like doing a little bit of soul searching. And when you can dare to dream about what your life would be like, what kind of things, who do you want to be? How do you want to show up?
Beautiful. Thank you. You know, the truth is a lot of folks join this program without already knowing yet how they're going to use it. And they just know there's something. And they take the time with support of peers to figure it out while getting the training and the skills to be able to make a difference. And some folks do not want to start a business and are not looking for a career, but they do want to help change the way the world eats, you know? And so that's why the Changemaker collection, I think, is such a powerful part of this too, because for folks who are just interested in learning about the issues and how to affect change on a community level, we got you covered, you know? And there are people who also are joining because they want to learn how to apply that deep nutritional knowledge in their own lives and for their own families. Or they want to gain some coaching skills because, oh my gosh, maybe their husband isn't quite eating the way they'd like, or their kids, or they keep alienating coworkers instead of building bridges, and they're trying to figure out how the heck to have real conversations. Or people come to them asking for help and they feel like they're letting them down because they don't know what to say or do. Well, that doesn't have to be the case anymore. So you gain skills here that can help you on the most personal and intimate level, and on the community level, on the professional level. And there's many different paths available and wide open here. And we want to help spark ideas and give practical roadmaps and skills to implement them. Melinda asked, so this is powerful information. I'm wondering if Scott has actually seen any shift from animal to organic plant-based farms in his experience. Scott, any?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. And I'll tell you like a personal story about this. I had the privilege of starting to work with the Rodale Institute many years ago after I attended an agricultural organic farming conference in Pennsylvania, and I saw the executive director speak, and I realized after seeing his wife on Monday that I'd been taking care of his wife for a number of years, and she sent him to get treated for his rotator cuff. So while I was injecting his rotator cuff, I shared with him my vision of like having an educational center on a farm just to teach people about that powerful intersection of agriculture and human health, and to include farmers as part of the healthcare team. And so he said, great, let's do it at Rodale. So at that time, Rodale Institute was much more of a animal-based agriculture along the kind of Weston Price. And through the years and just educating them, I took care of one of the staff members that had multiple sclerosis there, and she reversed her disease. It went into remission. That organization actually shifted into a plant-based organization. And now across all their channels, the Rodale Institute promotes whole food plant-based nutrition. And so they have billions of views of their content globally. We wrote a white paper called Power of the Plate, which is available. And so you can download that and see that here's an organization that is now advocating for plant-based nutrition and realizes the power of plants to transform everything.
That's huge. To be honest with you, Scott, I didn't even realize that, and Rodale is such a leader in the organic farming movement, arguably the biggest, pillar of driving that conversation forward in the mass culture. How remarkable, how inspiring. Thank you for that story and that work. Question for Melinda, from Jeff, can you give an example of the results you offer to clients for a package investment?
The range can be vast. You actually heard Ocean talking about it earlier. You could just look at, because you're eating healthier, what are the negative implications that are going to go away? What is the sickness, the disease, the doctors, the prescriptions, the treatments that when people are trying to address and solve those problems, like what is the cost of that? So it could be that kind of category of results. And you also heard Ocean talk about earlier, it could also be the lifestyle changes, the positive ripple effect, because they have more energy, they're out connecting and engaging with their community. They're able to hang out with their grandkids and actually keep up with them and enjoy that chapter of their life. So there's a lot of different possible, it could be, lose weight, feel better. It could be think clearer when you're in menopause. I mean, there could be a number of, you could get really specific or be kind of broad. It covers all of it, but really think about those two categories. What are the negative implications that it's going to stop? And what are the positive ripple effects that it's going to help make possible?
Yeah.
And all of us, if we did this exercise and we all created these possible outcomes, we'd all have vastly different experiences because of the area that you are focusing on or what your journey, where you come from in your lived experience.
Just to give folks an example of how you can make something tangible, researchers at Rush University in Chicago conducted a study, the Chicago Health and Aging Project, and they ended up concluding that when people ate enough vegetables, which was not a huge amount, by the way, their brains appeared 11 years younger. In other words, if they were going to get dementia, it would happen 11 years later. There's other studies showing direct correlation, like for every additional serving of legumes consumed per week, there's a direct correlation to a drop in risk of cardiovascular disease death. Now, obviously, you can't promise that someone will not get dementia or will not get cardiovascular disease, but you can look at data and you could say, oh my gosh, what would happen if we help people eat more beans, eat more legumes? How much more? Let's quantify that, right? The data's out there. Based on this study, based on this research, what would happen if we got you, potential client over here, eating legumes every day? You know, it's profound the impact that could have on somebody's life. So based on data, you can look at those things and you could start to quantify, and then you could say, oh my gosh, this is the results. Based on data, we could lower your risk of cardiovascular disease or dementia by X%. What's the cost of that disease? What's the value of that? Do the numbers, and then start to look at the change and the benefits. Those are examples of tangible, and you've got to be careful with language here because obviously you're not making a promise that they won't get sick, but you are saying we can help you eat better or your money back. You know, here's how we're defining eat better, and here's statistically what that might do for your odds, right? Based on this research. And always put it on the research. This study said this, not I'm promising this, right? So those are just examples of how you can kind of quantify in ways that really give people a sense of the tangible impact of those choices. And at the end of the day, it is just one choice at a time that actually has impact, and helping assign that impact to people's psychology can help them get results. We heard from, let's see, Lisa, who asked, when you offer an essentials package, how do you conclude it so it doesn't go on forever?
Yeah, so with that kind of, with any kind of package, like I said, I'm a big fan of reverse engineering. So I start with, I'll use that little example I just kind of threw out there off the cuff. Let's say you have a passion for helping women that are going through menopause and you want to help them to have a better menopausal experience through plant-based eating and all this. When you look at what are the end results and what needs to happen and reverse engineer, what kind of time frame would it take in an essentials package for them to get rid of some old habits and start developing new habits? Is it 3 months-ish, give or take, 2 months? And so you can begin to think about it that way. And in the program, when we have a lot more time together, we actually dive into several ways to look at it to understand. Because what I don't want to say is, well, every beginning package should be 3 months. That's not the case. And so, you know, how one person defines it, it might end up being 2 or 3 months. Others, it might be 6 weeks. For others, it might be 6 months. And so that's why I like to reverse engineer, to be in service of the outcomes we're trying to help our clients accomplish.
Yes, thank you. We heard from someone, actually I can't tell the name, but she said, I'm a registered nurse working in a busy ER, burnt out, seeing the effects of poor diet and lifestyle choice at every shift. Yes, I'm sure you are. She said, they said, I'd love to start a program at my large metropolitan hospital. Is there hope for me to make an appeal to the higher ups to get behind my idea? Any thoughts on
Yeah,
that?
I'll start and then I'll let Melinda and Teresa add in. But yeah, I completely understand where you are. It's especially in the emergency department with the volume of people that you see, and you really don't get the opportunity to see people make any lifestyle changes. You're at the end of the road of all of the unhealthy lifestyle changes. So I just want you to know I really sympathize and empathize with how you're feeling. It is common for physicians today. There's a huge burnout rate in healthcare providers because the system is built the wrong way. We're running the system based on relative value units, see more, do more financially, and we're not taking care of or tending to ourselves or to others. And so I just want to encourage you that there are opportunities. As a nurse, you have an amazing degree and experience that you can step out into other opportunities inside of healthcare. And we've had a lot of healthcare providers, nurses, physicians find sympathetic voices in the administrative offices that are open to community gardens at the hospital, to journal clubs, to lunch and learns, to coaching programs inside of a hospital, to working with underserved communities, to begin doing culinary education for those communities, taking the coaching program into like a small pilot group in an underserved community to show the impact of lifestyle change. So, you may take a little bit of extra time to build out. This coaching program would be an amazing foundation for you. But you could, offer the administration to do, a weekend group or a lunch and learn, and then start with something simple, something that's achievable, and build on that success. But I want you to know there's hope. There's a lot of hope. There's lots of support. The Plantrition Project is a community of healthcare providers, and if you come to our conference, it's an inspiring, hope-filled conference where you're more likely to get a hug than a handshake. And lots of compassion and empathy and hope for the future. So I'll let Teresa and anyone else pitch in if there's something else there.
I just wanted to add that there are a lot of hospitals nowadays and healthcare groups that are trying to brand themselves as being interested in prevention. Now, how successfully or how genuine that is its own conversation, but they see that it's good for marketing. Because, you see it, my local hospital has got lots of posters up about diet and lifestyle, and they're offering, meditation groups for free in their rooms. Like there's more and more insurance companies that are getting in on this. Some of them, of course, like HMOs, like Kaiser Permanente has been doing a lot to focus on this. Very tangible things like community gardens at their hospitals and and farmers markets and all kinds of wonderful endeavors. So I think we're making progress, and I do think that there is the potential, and especially in a large metropolitan hospital like you described, there's a lot of room for some rooms, for some meetings, from circles, and all you need to do is start small. Obviously, it's probably going to start on a volunteer basis for you while you establish proof of concept. But if you can establish that there's interest or demand, and the doctors can start referring patients, nurses can start referring people. Hey, Mrs. Filberson, you're recovering from heart disease. Here's a free group you might want to go join to learn a little more about healthy eating so you don't get sick again. Like that would be a wonderful thing for someone to be able to tell their patient about. A lot of nurses like yourself are stressed and overwhelmed, of course. And so to be able to give someone a referral that is going to help them could feel really good, right? And so offering that and then telling your colleagues about it and letting them know about it can be a wonderful thing, especially focusing on lifestyle responsive conditions like type 2 diabetes, like cardiovascular disease, where the data is overwhelming and the impacts can be quite rapid. It's a powerful place to start. Let's see. Oh, another one, and then we want to move to a couple more questions, but go for it, Melinda. I see your eyes perking up here.
Really quickly, just to give some physical evidence of this, in our local hospital, it's the largest in the region here. I'm in Virginia. One of my closest girlfriends, she works as a coach inside that hospital, and they have a whole staff of coaches. There's a group of them that have been hired to be advocates for the doctors that are on staff throughout all the hospitals, and she and others are the advocate for the residents, and they're tasked to bring innovative ways to help the doctors and residents have better mental health, healthier lifestyles, and they're looking for things exactly like this to bring into. So Look at your own staff at the hospital that you work with or the clinic that you work with. There might even be resources on staff that are so new that they may not be, you may not have the awareness of them yet, but it is happening. And there's, like Ocean said, there's great hope for this.
Thank you. Okay, we're just going to try to get to a few more quick ones here, and then we need to move to the next piece of our program. We had a question from Janelle. Where's the best place to get data from statistics, research, or studies? Is there a standard? Scott, I'd love if you just share, how do you separate the wheat from the chaff, so to speak, when it comes to research? Who do you trust?
Yeah, there's some great trustworthy sources. Obviously, nutritionfacts.org is a great resource for all of us. Dr. Michael Greger and his team do an amazing job of accurately reviewing the research and presenting kind of the core nuggets from the most up-to-date research. I think that's probably one of the best ways to research. Michael Greger has thousands of 5-minute video clips that he's created, thousands of blogs on specific topics, and that's a very easy place to keep up with the research.
Thank you. Yes, and foodrevolution.org also has an abundance of articles. All of our articles have citations linking directly to peer-reviewed medical journals. I tend to look at peer-reviewed medical journals, or when I'm Googling something, I put the word study in the search prompts because I'm interested not in like spun commentary from interest groups or the mainstream media. I'm interested in the actual study and what it actually says. So that can be helpful as well. Quickly, Melinda, is there any research on how a sliding scale fee for low-income people affects a coaching business?
There's a lot of business models out there. Part of our business model is on a pay what you can approach. There's sliding scales, there's scholarships, there's a lot of different ways that you can build up a business model. There's a lot that goes into thinking about how to do that. If you're going to have your own business, to me, the essence of a business is to create profitability so that that profit can then be in service of wherever you direct that money. And if you direct it to other causes, that's great. However, if you direct it to yourself, that's great. We built up our business to be a healthy, profitable business so that we could then be able to offer things like the pay what you can model or other scholarships or support other causes. And what I find is that a lot of people, they also get that backwards. They try to give first without creating a healthy financial base that they can then give from. So first create the healthy financial foundation, generating the consistent, reliable income so you can support sliding scales. Unless you have some endless resource of financial means to support your business, but most of the time people have to create that first. So just make sure you're looking at it the right way, but there's absolutely room for both and to charge for services based on the value that it is, to offer unique business models and financial models. All of it is possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that from a marketing standpoint, giving a range is sometimes confusing for people. It slows them down. They feel guilty about not paying the top, but then they can't afford it, and then they just kind of stop. And so I think that it brings up shame for some people that they don't have more resources. And so it can be complicated. And sometimes it may be better to have a set price and then offer full or partial scholarships in a limited number in your program for people, not just on need base, in my opinion, but based on their ability to impact communities or help you impact communities that are important to you. So what are the values? Some people offer discounts for veterans or for communities of color or for people of low income, or for single mothers or whatever it may be. But think about what it is you're actually wanting to accomplish and who you want to serve more. Offer some scholarship application form over here, and then make the price loud and proud and clear. This is what it is. That's another approach you could have. And of course, offering free content as part of your funnel process can also be a wonderful way to reach impacted communities without needing to charge for it. We had a question from Rachel about the recordings and whether it'll be available later than just a day. Yes, we'll leave the replays up. When you get the link in the email tomorrow, you'll be able to go back and listen to any of these 3 days indefinitely. I don't know I can't say forever. I don't know what the plan will be, but certainly it'll be more than a day. And then let's see. We heard from Ingrid who said, I'm a microbiome coach, but I have to admit I'm sort of a carnivore. This workshop is so inspiring. I'm wondering how I can just drop the organic chicken breast and sockeye salmon. It looks like I need a coach. I guess I just answered my own question. If I had the money, I'd jump into this amazing program. Perhaps you'll offer it again at a later date than January 2025. Ingrid, it does sound like it. And actually, I think this is one of the really cool things that happens in the coaching certification is that people get so much transformation from immersing in the nutrition and in the coaching and getting to coach with peers. For a lot of people, personal transformation is worth way more than the cost of enrollment for their own health, their own well-being, their own quality of life. And so it is pretty profound in that way. And we will offer it, I expect, again, but probably just once a year. We're definitely only offering it once in 2025, and that's in January. So that's your chance if you want to be a part of the next cohort. Some folks have asked, will you offer one in July? No, that's not in the plan right now. Once a year. It takes a lot to create this whole program, and we really want to give it our best. And we find that once a year and capping it at 300 people enables it to really have that deep impact that we want it to have. Okay, well, it looks like we are, let's see. I've got to ask this one because it's come up a lot of times, actually. How do you handle liability when working as a coach? Do you have recommended waiver verbiage? Is it important to have some kind of liability insurance? How do y'all address that one?
For sure, when you have your own business, it's a combination of things. I highly recommend all coaches have insurance, liability insurance. It's just that thing that we hope we don't ever need. If we do, it's there, and it just helps you put your head on the pillow and sleep soundly at night. In my 20 years of having it, I've never had to use it, and it's important to always have it. And then also another thing that we teach in one of the lessons in the program is about agreements. How to have like written agreements so that you can convey the expectations and there's clear communication. And this is really true whether you're working and have your own business, or like what Teresa was talking about, if you're getting a job, having that agreement with wherever you're going to offer your services. So there's just clear communication and a clear understanding, not just to protect everybody involved, but just to help everybody involved know how to show up to have the best experience possible.
Wow. What an amazing, amazing bunch of wisdom from you all. Thank you so much, Melinda, Teresa, and Scott. I'm so grateful for this time with you all. The journey to becoming a coach is as unique as each person who feels the call. We've seen our students create lasting change as entrepreneurs, starting businesses, doing group coaching, doing one-on-one coaching, becoming employed, expanding their existing career path to bring this in, and making a difference at the local level in their communities. And often the calling starts with a simple desire to support people, to do something good in the world, to be a part of this food revolution. And the satisfaction of watching someone succeed is indescribable. So for more on that, let's hear from one of our graduates, Adrienne Davis.
There are so many people who are sick today, and they're just not able to live a fulfilling life. And I want this world to be full of healthy people. Hi, my name is Adrienne Davis, and I'm from Anderson, Indiana. In 2016, I started having really bad panic attacks, like to the point where I thought I was having a heart attack. I had no idea what was going on with me. I was miserable, and because of plant-based nutrition, I was able to eliminate my panic attacks completely. I haven't had them since. So it was just like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. I'm sold on this lifestyle. I will encourage anything else. And literally that was in June 14th of 2020. So I just passed my 4-year mark of being medication free. So I have been coaching people with type 2 diabetes and pre-diabetes online, but I'm now branching out to do some things in my local community. Well, my first official client was my husband. In 2018, when I had just met him, he had just been diagnosed a few months prior to that with type 2 diabetes, and I had already transitioned to being more plant-based. as a vegetarian. That's the way I started. He was a big meat eater. So when I told him, like, I think you should stop eating meat, and try to see if you can reverse your diabetes. And he just looked at me like I was crazy, and he wanted no part of that. I kind of convinced him, and he finally decided to try it for 30 days. And he made such amazing progress in that 30 days. He lost weight, his A1C levels went down, his blood pressure went down. The doctor was actually pretty shocked. And so he stuck with it, and he hasn't eaten meat since. The plant-based coaching certification taught me not only the knowledge that I needed as far as plant-based nutrition and what it can do in your body, but also how to coach clients to make the shift from their current lifestyle to this healthier lifestyle. And it also gave me the tools that I needed to go out and really spread my message and get clients to come and work with me. Like, after I went through the coaching program, doors started opening. I had already gained tools to go and launch a webinar. I had one person hire me as their coach from that webinar. And I just gained confidence. I just kept growing my skills and gaining the confidence as I got each client that came in and started doing discovery calls with people, and it was powerful. I've done a lot of one-to-one coaching with clients, and now I'm actually getting ready to launch a group program, and I'm going to be speaking to different organizations in my local community and just really helping people understand, because so many people don't realize that there is an alternative to just taking pills and insulin for the rest of your life when you get diagnosed. And so I'm just working to help people to know that there is a different life out there that they can have. Like, just knowing that I'm able to truly help people, it feels good. There is a better life out there than sickness, and you don't have to let sickness, especially diabetes, you don't have to let it define you. There's a better way.
Wow. I get goosebumps whenever I see our students. So now this is my favorite part, where I get to give more tools to everybody who's stuck with us this long. For everybody watching still, I hope that our time together has given you a glimpse and a real taste into just how transformative plant-based coaching can really be. I trust you've picked up some key principles that will set you up for success, no matter how you decide to apply what you've learned. And by being here with us today, you've already shown that you're someone who is likely to succeed. You didn't just sign up, you showed up, and you stayed fully engaged all the way till now. And not everyone understands the profound impact that food and coaching can have, but you do. And as our thank you to you, I want to share a couple more incredible handouts from our PBCC toolkit. We'll post them also in Zoom and in the broadcast page in case you didn't see them yet. We did send them by email earlier today in the Starting Now email. But if you missed that, no big deal. We will post them now in the chat and in the broadcast page. So look for a tiny link. And we'll share them probably multiple times. So these are just 2 more pieces of our extensive collection. We have over 250 handouts, templates, and guides, many of which we make customizable so our coaches can share them with their clients and use their own branding. So we hope that you find value in the materials you've received so far. But these 2 in particular might be the most impactful in helping you discover your why, how you want to use what you've learned so far to make a difference in the world. And who knows, maybe you'll join us in January to go deeper into this journey. So without further ado, let's pull up the first one. Okay, Belinda shared a little bit earlier about Pain Island and Pleasure Island. So this is the Pain Island and Pleasure Island exercise that she discussed. The instructions are on there, but it's an invaluable tool for identifying core challenges and desires of your ideal client. You can also use the word avatar or niche or target. But by pinpointing the specific pain points your audience faces and the people you want to help, and by thinking about the outcomes that they aspire to achieve, you can craft your message to deeply resonate with their needs. And this clarity allows you to position your services as that bridge between their struggles and their desire for transformation. It makes your offers more compelling and relatable to them. So in marketing, this exercise helps you speak directly to the heart of your ideal client and increases potential for engagement and conversation and conversion. Okay, thank you. Let's pull up the next one. And this is something that Teresa Keppel shared with us about really identifying your strengths. And this exercise is a tool or valuable tool to help you gain clarity on your own personal values, your strengths, and your desired area of specialization. So by reflecting on who you want to serve in the specific health and nutrition topics they are passionate about, you can better align your career direction with your true purpose. This exercise helps in crafting a more focused and authentic coaching practice, while also guiding you towards opportunities that resonate with your unique skills and aspirations, ultimately setting the foundation for your own long-term success. All right, now back to you, Ocean.
Well, thank you, Tracy. What an incredible journey we've been on together these last few days. And I really don't want this time with you all to end, and maybe it doesn't have to, because today we've been discussing how to make an impact and the power of amplifying your skills to do this work in the world and reach a bigger audience. You may recognize the need to deepen your nutrition understanding and to build coaching skills to deliver real, lasting change. And now hopefully you're seeing some ways that you can make an impact in a way that plays to your strengths and that supports the life you want to create. Imagine for a moment being able to support your clients or your loved ones in the trenches, working with them on an ongoing basis. We've covered a lot of ground in the last 3 days, and I'll tell you what, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We'd really love it if you could spend 6 months of learning with us. So with your permission, we want to tell you more about Food Revolution Network's plant-based coaching certification. This program is designed to teach you how to provide continuous support, how to help people implement and sustain healthy habits for the long term. And today, we're going to talk a little bit now about what it is, and then we'll answer some questions about it, some of which have been coming in the Q&A in Zoom here. So Tracy, start us off.
Thank you, Ocean. Well, by now, I hope we've made it clear how very special and different this training truly is. It's different from everything else out there for a few main reasons. One is our whole food plant-based focus. We specialize in that particular specialization, right? Whole food, plant-based living and eating is our thing. And while many coaching certifications exist, very few focus on helping people adopt a plant-based lifestyle in particular.
Yeah.
There are specific plant-based challenges that make having a coach with this expertise extremely valuable. So our mastery of this plant-based living and education is unparalleled. It's what we do. The second main thing that sets us apart is our heart-centered coaching. And I hope you had a good taste of that yesterday. Our heart-centered yet structured approach to coaching teaches you how to achieve real and lasting results in people's lives. And we hope that the insights that we shared so far really inspire you to start integrating what you've learned into your life or work immediately. We also teach, as we discussed today, business and impact, where it's not just about teaching you how to help other people. We also teach you how to build a business, or if you want, how to find a job in this growing field. And plus, there's no other program that I know of in the world that also teaches you how to make real grassroots change and be a force for good in your community.
Yes.
All right. Back to you, Ocean.
True. So now let's pull up some slides so we can show and tell a little bit about what this is all about here. Okay, so you know, plant-based coaching certification, that's what we're talking about now. And the big next slide, the big mission here is our goal is to empower a compassionate community of leaders with the nutritional knowledge, the coaching skills, and the impact strategies needed to support healthy, ethical, sustainable transformation for clients, for communities, and for the planet. Next slide. So as we've been saying, there are 3 pillars here that are all included in this one-of-a-kind training: plant-based nutrition, the education side; coaching, which is the transformation side, helping people get results and make changes in their lives; and impact, the amplification of your mission and your message so you can make a real difference in the world, and if you want to, make a living doing it. Next slide.
We've designed the world's most comprehensive plant-based coaching certification program, combining all 3 of these critical pillars to help today's brightest and most passionate leaders like you step deeper into their roles as agents for change. So now let's go a little deeper into each of these pillars and what's included. Next slide.
So pillar 1, of course, is our training on nutrition. We go into the essentials of whole food plant-based eating, and we look at what reputable scientific studies and research tell us. You'll learn about key nutrients, foods to avoid, plant-based myths, and appropriate supplements. And this pillar covers how plant-based diets can improve the lives of people struggling with specific conditions, from obesity to heart disease, from type 2 diabetes to cancer. And you'll gain insights into fundamental nutrition controversies, including protein and calories and macronutrients and micronutrients. And we'll guide you on coaching clients to build and maintain a plant-based kitchen, including the culinary side of things. Next slide. Our lead faculty for this, you were with them on Friday if you were able to join us on Friday: Nicole D'Andrea Russert, RDN, Brenda Davis, RD, Michael Clapper, MD, and Roman Pollock, PhD. All available to you with lessons and also in live calls and through the forum. Next slide. We also have incredible guest faculty in this pillar who deliver scintillating presentations from New York Times bestselling authors like Dr. Joel Furman and Dr. Susan Pierce Thompson, Columbus Batiste, Mimi Guarneri, Christy Funk, dietitians James and Dahlia Marin, and many, many more. Next slide.
Pillar 2 focuses on coaching, teaching you how to become an effective agent of change in your clients' and communities' lives. You'll learn to help clients translate knowledge into actionable habits that lead to lasting benefits like longer life, weight loss, reduced pain, reduced disease risk. With advances in coaching, we now know how to support people in making meaningful changes. To build your coaching skills, we've designed expert-led practice pods where you get hands-on experience with our faculty in live calls. Next slide. Our lead faculty in this pillar is myself, Dr. Howie Jacobson, Melinda Cohen, and Makini Duewa, National Board Certified Health and Wellness Coach. Next slide. And we've brought in more A-listers in this pillar too, to build our dream team, to teach you coaching. So we teach you how to not just empower your clients, but to prioritize self-care, how to lead and structure your coaching sessions, and how to effectively give recommendations without being preachy or stepping outside of your scope of practice. Thanks to superstars like Margaret Moore, Erica Jackson, Elliot Connie, Nancy Stubbs, and more, you'll learn how to build emotional intelligence and go beyond empathy so you can become a skilled facilitator in behavior change and deliver real and lasting transformation. Next slide.
And then, of course, there's our focus today, which is impact. We'll go deep into this. You'll design your own path to bring the food revolution to the world in the way that you're most passionate about and most qualified for. So depending on your life stage, your level of ambition, your existing resume, your passions, your web of relationships, the optimal way to use your skills is going to vary. And that's why the impact pillar covers the most common avenues in coaching today and looks at all 3 of these collections: entrepreneurship and employment, being a change maker, so you can take the path that aligns for where you are. Next slide. Our lead faculty in the entrepreneurship collection are folks you have gotten to meet today in most cases. including Melinda Cohan, focusing on entrepreneurship. She's helped over 120,000 coaches to build successful businesses. Maybe she will help you as well. We also have Teresa Keppel, focusing on employment and how to get a job and craft a resume and network and prepare for interviews. And the Changemaker collection, which I host along with Leanna Levine Reisner, focuses on community level impact and teaches you to advocate for policy change, how to partner with local food systems, and how to engage underserved populations. And Leanna, by the way, leads up an organization in New York City that is doing phenomenal work creating change on a citywide level. I would say grassroots, but of course there are, 8 million people in New York City. So I don't know how grassroots that is, but it's local and it's massively impactful. So she'll tell you about that in the program as well. Next slide. And you'll also get 6 live group impact sessions where we dive deep with this panel of experts to help you figure out how to apply what you're learning in your life. Next slide.
So this program is designed to be 100% online and flexible, allowing you to learn from anywhere in the world on your schedule with self-paced benchmarks. Lessons begin the last week of January and are released weekly over 6 months until the end of July. So these are pre-recorded lessons that come with transcripts, cited research, over 250 plus handouts, resources, plus the toolkit of rebrandable forms and assessment tools to get you coaching quickly. And we'll put the link in the chat to so that you can see the full curriculum on our website as well. We do host a private cohort exclusive community, a forum for our students, which fosters peer connections plus group learning. It's moderated by our lead faculty, and it's available to our students indefinitely with our ongoing mentorship well beyond the 6 months and well beyond graduation. Weekly live calls are scheduled with faculty to help you dive deeper into nutrition and coaching. I've mentioned the practice pods already, which are your chance to practice the skills that you are learning, so you'll get hands-on coaching experience. And then Ocean also mentioned the impact sessions, where you get to explore your own vision and goals in doing this work. So the live calls are optional to attend. We understand that the schedule won't work for everyone, but everything is recorded. So you can ask questions in advance and you can review replays. And of course, the forum is ongoing for constant moderation and support from our team. To address the challenge of not knowing what to eat, we also provide you with over 1,000 quick and easy, delicious recipes to share with your clients and community. That's my personal favorite part.
Yeah.
You must pass a midterm and a final exam, which is focused only on pillars 1 and 2 to obtain your certification. There's also comprehension quizzes along the way of, as you go on throughout the course. Those are not required for the certification, just passing the midterm and the final are. And even those are self-paced, so you don't have to take them on our schedule. You can take them when it works for you. And your participation in pillar 3, this impact pillar, it's not required for your certification. There's no quiz or exam on it. It's our support of you. This is for you. It's an additional resource to support your success. Next slide.
Exactly. So what does it cost? Well, here we've got the dates on this slide. I think we've already covered some of this, but
I forgot to progress.
No worries. But yeah, so we start on the 29th of January, but the first live call is January 15th. And I think we've covered this, so we can go to the next slide. What does it cost? What's the investment? Well, okay, so the price is 6 payments of $1,097, which comes to $65.82 if you do the math on that over 6 payments, or you can pay in full at the regular price and join in for slightly under $6,000. Or if you join in for the workshop promo price, which is between now and the end of the day tomorrow, Monday, then you can join for 6 payments of $997, which is a savings of $600. Or if you pay in full, then you're only paying $4,997, which saves you $1,000 off of the regular pay in full price. So that's part of the opportunity that's available now. And when we say pay in full, what we mean is to get your deposit in before end of day tomorrow, and then you get an application. As long as you stay with the schedule, you send in your application, and then once you're approved, if you are, you have 2 weeks to submit full payment. Then you're in the program, and you get all your discounts and bonuses based on the time that you got your deposit in the door. Next slide. So let's talk about some of the bonuses. So Whole Life Club is FRN's ongoing membership community, and this is our community where we offer resources like recipes, like wisdom, and incredible treasure trove of interviews with guest expert action hours, hundreds of action of the week videos, and an ongoing community support that's moderated by our team of nutritionists and dietitians. So the cool thing here is you have access to the entire library. We've had this program up for over 5 years, and there's so much amazing wealth of resources in there. But you also will have access to it as we develop and build it into the future. All the live calls, all the recipe demos, all the opportunity to engage with our panel of experts. So if you have more questions or want to engage, we're here for you, and this community is here for you. And the value of Whole Life Club is $497 a year. That's actually what it costs on our website, but you'll have unlimited lifetime access over the course of 10 years. That would be worth alone about $5,000. Next slide. Next, we have Ocean Robbins's Food Revolution Mastermind. Okay, well, I know a little bit about this one. This will be available, but if you join between now and the end of the day on Monday, then you get access to this. It's a mastermind that's curated and led by me, and it features 6 live monthly sessions over the course of the 6 months journey of the program, in which we'll get to go deep. We'll look at current developments in the food and health space, recent studies and events that are important to discuss. We'll dive into transformative aspects of agriculture, the environmental impact of food. We'll look at human rights, animal welfare, ethics. You can ask me anything, and I'll also facilitate some connecting activities to support you in deepening connection with your fellow participants and your own sense of core values. This is a chance to assign deeper meaning to your journey and career and to align it with an expanded sense of purpose in your life and work. It's a one-of-a-kind experience. We're valuing it at $3,000. Next slide.
Okay, well, you all got to meet Dr. Scott Stoll today from the Plantrition Project, and I'm excited to say that we're able to offer our certified graduates 1 free year of listing in the Plantrition Project's online directory of plant-based healthcare providers. So as a PBCC graduate, you'll be listed as an FRN certified plant-based coach, making it easier for people to find you. Additionally, Food Revolution Network will also promote this directory to our entire database, over 1 million members, to increase your visibility and attract new clients. Normally, this is $199 a year, but this listing and promotion provide invaluable exposure.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to put in another word on that, I'm super excited about this because we're already getting a lot of our graduates starting to get their listings up there. And for some of them, this is the only web page they may need because it covers their profile and what they offer and how to contact them. And then they can send people there. Obviously, some people will develop much more robust and sophisticated websites, but it's a great start. It's like having that structure all built out. And for some of our graduates, if you Google them by name, what pops up first thing on Google is their Plantrition listing because it has search engine ranking as well. And you can also do a search. If you go to that site, plantrition.org, you can do a search for certified plant-based coaches. If you type yes in that, put yes in that dialog box when you're choosing your criteria, and you'll find them. And it's a great directory, and we're excited to spread the word to our 1 million members and let them know if they want coaches, here's where to go. Well, maybe you'll be listed there someday.
Can I just also add, just last week, one of our students mentioned that she was found that way and was hired by a couple in Texas, and she's in Canada. So I thought that was really cool. This is really, it opens the whole landscape of possibilities.
Yes, it does. Next slide. There's also the Next Level collection, which I mentioned a little bit earlier. And this is where I interviewed a lot of the people that have really mentored and inspired me in building Food Revolution Network up to have over 1 million members and be where we are today. And I said, okay, for all the folks out there who are thinking they might want to grow a bigger business or scale it up, what are the skills and critical resources they're going to need to do so? And you can think of this like a podcast if you want. If you just are somebody who likes to learn, you may not be at a spot yet where you want to apply all this, but you still might be interested in learning about it. It might open your mind, and maybe you are in a spot or will be in a spot where you want to grow your business. So we focus on things like copywriting and how to run a successful launch, how to have good HR policies, how to hire employees or consultants if that's where you're at, how to write a book and get it published. We look at how to use quizzes for lead generation. We look at copywriting. We look at AI and how to use artificial intelligence, and how to price your product, and lots more. Also ads, so much more, building a team, lots and lots of great resources. So I'm super excited about this. This is a bonus. In our first cohort, actually, this was the impact pillar, but we'd ended up realizing that I was kind of missing the mark with where our audience was because we were focusing a little too high level. So now it's just a bonus, and we've redesigned the impact pillar in the last year to make it much more grassroots tangible to where people are starting out. But this is still available, and I think it's an incredible resource for folks. So we're valuing it at $997. It says per year on the slide. Don't worry, you have lifetime access to it. Next slide. Then a couple of the other resources that are really powerful will come from Sage Levine. She is one of the top women's entrepreneurship coaches in the world, the best-selling author of Women Rocking Business. One is Make Money with Your Message, which teaches you how to attract clients and make a great income while you're serving others. And it helps you clarify your niche so you can stand out and attract perfect fit clients, attract the specific people who are interested in what you have to offer. And so we value this, she values this at $500. And then the next slide shows us Story Superpower, also from Sage Levine. This teaches you how to tell your story so you can attract clients and customers. And you'll learn what makes you credible, and you'll get some engagement tools to inspire and transform and heal with your story. The program gives you 10 crucial questions to ask yourself, and it also gives you tools for using AI to support your storytelling journey and to help make sure your story is going to resonate with your audience. Next slide.
I'm also excited that this year we are offering FRN's 14-day plant-powered accelerator. This program promotes lasting change through small, enjoyable, and impactful daily actions. So by emphasizing tiny steps, this program ensures sustainable transformation. It offers coaches their own transformative experience, and it's an inspiration for guiding others on a plant-based journey. The value of this is $47. Next slide. And you've met Melinda. She is the designer of this fabulous all-in-one system, Coaches Console. And this is a system designed to launch, manage, and grow your coaching business efficiently. It includes the tools for creating a professional website, building your email list, accepting payments, managing clients, all with ease. FRN's plant-based coaching certification enrollees receive a free month and $100 off the monthly membership with no long-term contracts or setup fees. The value of this is a savings of $1,200 a year. Next slide.
And then this is pretty exciting, folks. So participants qualify for a $2,000 tuition discount and a fast track, which can save several months on the Root Cause Health Coaching and Advanced Training by Lifestyle Prescriptions University. So upon completion of this program, students are eligible to sit for the National Board of Health and Wellness Coaches exam. The program also provides an option to continue towards an integrated master's or PhD in lifestyle medicine and health coaching. So the value is $2,000 because that's literally the discount you achieve. It's also 3 months because that's how much time is shaved off the program when you fast track. If you graduate from our program, you save some of the time over there. Now, Lifestyle Prescriptions University is offering this because they want to help people become National Board of Health and Wellness Coach certified. This is a particular exam that can be extremely helpful if you're wanting to be able to bill insurance companies and also to add to your resume for employment opportunities. It adds another layer of credibility. You don't need it to be a practicing plant-based coach, but it will help. And if you want to go to that next level, it's a great resource. And to be clear, we chose not to fold this into FRN's plant-based coaching certification because there is a certain rigor to it, and not everybody in our program wants this. So we decided to team up with Lifestyle Prescriptions University. We would have had to teach to the test and it would have added a meaningful amount to our program's commitment of financial resources and time investment. We decided let's focus on what's our unique specialty, which we're delivering, and then dovetail here. So if you want to go to this next level, the $2,000 discount and the fast track will be a huge step, and you'll find that the programs complement each other extremely well. Graduates of ours who have done this program have found that it was extremely complementary. There was very little overlap, but there was tremendous complementary congruence. So it's a great yes and if you want to go that next step, and especially if you might be somebody who wants to really go all the way with this from a career standpoint and or want to be able to bill insurance. Next slide. Another one is the Food Revolution Summit Empowerment Packages. Some of you have been a part of our summits in the last number of years. We've actually been holding them for more than 12 years now. And the Food Revolution Summit is the largest online gathering of healthy food lovers on the planet. We host this every year. And for this summit, my dad and colleague John Robbins and I, over these last dozen years, have interviewed each year 25 to 45 of the world's top food and health experts. So what you get with the empowerment package is you get all of the bundle of interviews, including recordings and transcripts, to be able to watch or listen anytime you want, or read the transcripts anytime you want. You also get docuseries episodes when we've created that in our summit, and you'll have ongoing lifetime access to the 2020 to 24 summits, the last 5 years of summit empowerment packages, and the 2025 one, when it comes out in April, will also be yours for free. These are worth $197 each. That's what they cost on our website right now. But when you join in, you'll get them all for free. Next slide.
Actually, Ocean, can I interject something?
Yep.
I wanted to share that the midterm break, we've scheduled a midterm break that will allow our students to have time to watch the summit. That was something that they requested, so we built it in. Just wanted to mention that.
Yay, yes, thank you for letting us know. So there is a break right there, and it's a perfect time for those who want to enhance their learning, and they'll have it for free, which is also really cool. All right, next slide. So if you put all this together, that's a total, if you've been doing the math here, of over $15,000 worth of discounts and bonuses. Next slide.
So what do you walk away with here? You get a comprehensive education, a deep dive into plant-based nutrition, including all the latest research and practical applications. Next slide. You get coaching skills. You're going to be able to facilitate lasting behavior change and empower clients across various settings. Next slide. You'll get business and marketing training, tools and resources, plus community support. So you'll have unlimited access to us, our faculty, our resources, and the supportive network of peers and faculty to help you grow if it's a business or if it's whatever your dream is, we work together to make that happen. And before moving to taking questions, next slide. I think we wanted to share some words from students who have experienced this training with us firsthand.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Berg. I live in South Carolina. Thanks to Food Revolution Network's PBCC course, I can be a whole food, plant-based nutrition coach. It's not just a dream for the future because I now have the skills to make this happen. One of the things about PBCC I loved was the live calls. Being part of a live Zoom meeting with so many of my personal heroes, such as Brenda Davis, Dr. Michael Clapper, and Ocean Robbins, was so very special.
Food Revolution Network's plant-based coaching certification was truly the answer to my prayers, and I am so eternally grateful. Over the years that followed the death of my parents, my father from Alzheimer's disease and my mother from cancer, I did a vast amount of research regarding health and nutrition, but I found it to be totally overwhelming and confusing. I just hoped and prayed that I would find a way that I could condense this information into one tiny practical package. And thankfully, along came Ocean Robbins with this amazing program, and it's equally amazing, highly qualified professional instructors and facilitators. I gained the knowledge and confidence to successfully share this vital information with others, hoping to end unnecessary suffering and disease. Do not hesitate in taking this course. You have no idea what a beautiful, powerful, and positive impact you could have in this world. Thank you to everybody in the Food Revolution Network for making this course possible.
Thank you so much. You've given me the confidence to go out with a much more confident way of approaching people. But I'd just like to say special thanks to John and Ocean Robbins. 15 years ago, I was challenged with cancer, and I was told to go on this strict diet, plant-based, quite a lot raw as well. And, so I didn't need to take the chemotherapy and radiotherapy. But what really touched me was, it was a few years down the line when you had started, I came across Food Revolution Network. And when I started listening to some of the things that were being said, I literally just had to cry, because when I went through that process, I thought I was the only one and nobody would listen to me. But having gone through that, I was able to point people to professionals who did a much better job than me, just sharing, what this was all about. And then to meet you in person was, icing on the cake. And then when I came across this program, I thought, wow, I have to do it. And I'm so glad I did, because, I enjoyed the nutrition bit and Brenda Davis, yes, of course, but the coaching and the marketing bit, which was, these were my weak points. I just feel so much more confident, and just a big thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
The nutrition part just was so easy to absorb. I love, all the technical, the analytical aspects of it, and just more knowledge. What can I gain and learn? Because that's really what attracted me in the very beginning. I remember just questioning some different things in my life when my kids were young. It was about 10 years ago that I found plant-based. I remember I was reading The Idiot's Guide to Plant-Based Diets that Juliana Hever had written. And I think it was that book that she mentioned John Robbins. And I was like, who's John Robbins? That name sounds interesting. I don't know how 30 some years of my life I had never heard the name. And I just started learning everything about, his story, just so amazing, and the love that he shares with the world. And then I learned and found Ocean, and just led me to this amazing place that I am in now. And I'm just so excited for the future and to share with whoever wants to hear. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. Just love this group and love everything that I've learned.
I actually love what Ocean said. I know, surprise, surprise. We love what Ocean says. But he said what resonated with him was with the coaching, that people really get what the coaches say, like, into their soul. And like, I don't know, he didn't say it in these exact words, I'm paraphrasing, but that when you say it in your own words, you start to like really believe it and get it and start to make it your own, and it becomes what you can really change, and how you can really change your own life, because it becomes yours. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what we want. That's what we want for our clients. We want them to make it their own, so that it resonates with them and it becomes theirs. And that's exactly what this program is, right? Like, it's teaching people how to make it their own. And so I love that.
I love that too. Now it's time for you. What are you going to do to make it your own? How are you going to live into this? Maybe you want to join the plant-based coaching certification. Whether or not you do, I hope you're part of this movement with us. I hope you've joined us in your heart and in your life to explore how you can be a part of the solution on planet Earth, how you can be an agent of change, how you can help people heal, how you can help humanity live in right relation with the Earth, how you can help, the people you love and the people in your community to be healthier and to eat healthier, because our lives are on the line. The future of all life is on the line. And we have an opportunity here, folks, to be a part of something beautiful. So I hope sometimes people call my dad and I the founders of Food Revolution Network, but I really think we were founded by this work. And I hope that today in this journey, it's found you too. And if it has, if you're feeling a sense of inspiration or calling or purpose, that maybe this is a direction you want to take, I want to invite you to team up with us and join with us and become an FRN certified plant-based coach. And you can do that by going ahead and entering, filling out the little deposit form, get your $100 application deposit in. There's a link from the broadcast page to go right on through, or you can go to certification.foodrevolution.org. That's the page where you can take advantage of all the bonuses and discounts that are available. Get that deposit in. You want to get your sort of hat in the ring, because we've only got 300 spots for the entire cohort. We don't know how soon that's going to fill up. There's 33,000 people part of this workshop. We don't want you to miss out. There's still room, but I just can't promise how long there'll be room. So when you get that deposit in, then you have time to apply, and then you can have 2 weeks if you're accepted to get your full tuition in or to start your payment plan going, and you're off to the races. And we're just so excited about all the incredible people that are going to be joining this with us. So now we want to go to some questions and answers from folks. So let's go ahead and cover as many as we can here, Tracy, in the precious time we have. Lots of questions. Melinda said, living in southern Minnesota, surrounded by conventional agriculture, corn and soybeans, lots of chickens and pig confinement buildings, big agriculture rules. Any advice for those of us living in an area that's wary of positive real actions for good? Well, I'll just say, Melinda, quickly, yes, you're right. That's a deep question. And community-based change in any community takes listening to that community and seeing what the opportunities are. I'm going to bet that in that community, there's still plenty of people who are worried about LDL cholesterol, cardiovascular health, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, excess weight, Alzheimer's and dementia, and probably concerned about environmental quality as well, pesticides, air pollution, etc. So what are the avenues for connecting with folks if you're wanting to make change in your region? First question is, where are people hurting? Where are they motivated, and what do they want? And how can you align with that? I don't just mean what do they think they want, but what do they want that aligns maybe with what you want? Like, what's the point of synergy there? And the other thing I just want to say is, if you join a program like the plant-based coaching certification, you're going to connect with peers all over the world, and you'll feel that sense of solidarity and family and belonging and community, which can be deeply resourcing to you and restorative to you. And also you'll realize that a plant-based coach can work from anywhere with anywhere. So that means you could choose to live in a place, for example, where cost of living is low, and then choose to work with clients who maybe are in places where there's more financial money flowing around. And that can also be a wonderful leveraged opportunity. And we have folks working in, countries where cost of living is low and the climate is wonderful, and they're working with folks, in other places. So, or you may choose to work from there and work with folks in big cities or who knows where. So just recognizing the world opens up when you do work that can be done from anywhere. Joanne said, I'm so looking forward to January. I can't wait to get started. And Gracie said, me too. Awesome. We're excited to have you both with us. Shane said, can you briefly outline the time commitment of this course on average? I'm a retired 74-year-old and may not start a business, but could do local workshops, etc. And thank you for all the wisdom.
Would you like me to?
Sure, go for it, Tracy. I've been talking for a while, as I'm prone to do.
Break. It takes, I would guesstimate about 5 hours on average a week would be enough to really sit with listening to the pre-recorded lessons. Again, those are on you can listen to them anytime. They're even audio if you just want to play it in the background while you're doing something. So there's the pre-recorded lessons about 2 to 4 hours a week, and then there's usually one live call a week. And it either works on your schedule or it doesn't, but like I said, they're available, they're recorded, so you can listen to the replay anytime. Those calls are 90 minutes. I've posted the schedule already in the chat, but I can post that again. And so about 5 hours is the short answer. And I'd hope to have you with us.
Thank you. Yes. Jim said there are powerful forces in the food industry that will protect their economic interests by disqualifying and dismissing nutrition coaching that opposes their priorities. Will a credential from FRN be able to stand up to resistance that will inevitably come from those supporting the status quo? Well, Jim, that's a deep question. It depends in whose eyes, right? You know, obviously the status quo is entrenched and there's a lot of power and force behind it and a lot of money behind it. Will you be able to, you know, stand up and like, you know, change the world as powerfully as a company that's got millions and millions of dollars to spend on ads? Well, I don't know, but you can still have credibility and traction in individual lives or in a community, make a difference with the people that you interact with. So, you know, grassroots change sort of by definition starts on the grassroots local level. And what we're focusing on is how you can be a part of that. You know, it's different from like top down. If you want to do top down change, then there's another path for you. And this can help with that, by the way. But there's a lot of other resources you need to have credibility at an institutional level for, you know, massive impact. But I also believe you shouldn't need a bunch of degrees and decades of being steeped in the status quo to make a difference in the world. And this program, I think, will show you many pathways to do so. Bina said, if one puts down the deposit of $100 by tomorrow night, is it possible to pay the full balance in early January 2025, or does it have to be in 2 weeks? The monthly payments at this time are unaffordable. Thank you so much for your wisdom and insights. Well, Bina, thanks for asking. So officially, you know, once you put down your deposit, you apply. Once your application's accepted, you have 2 weeks to get all the bonuses and so forth. That said, we do like to work with people. What we can't do is hold a spot in perpetuity when someone hasn't paid once they pass their 2-week window, because we don't know for sure if they're actually going to, right? But if you tell us that you absolutely will, and we have that conversation, then maybe we can work something out. So be in touch with our team. If you're approved, go ahead and I'd say go ahead and get your deposit in. By the way, it's fully refundable if something doesn't work out. But if you're approved, then you can let us know, you know, your situation and what you're asking for and see if our team can work with you. Certification@foodrevolution.org is the email address, by the way, for our team, if you have specific questions like that. Let's see, another person asked, how old is your oldest student enrollee? We don't ask people's ages as part of their enrollment process, so we wouldn't know, but I'm sure we have people in their 80s, right, Tracy?
I was trying to think, yeah, for sure 70s, and I'm trying to think about 80s. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I know I heard about one person who was 81 for sure,
Oh.
but we don't know.
Ah.
And you know, here's the cool thing. Some plant-based eaters look younger than they are. So there may be some people that are older than we realize. Yeah. Joanne said, I'm so excited that I signed up. I don't want to miss any of the live calls. Will they be every Tuesday from 9 to 1:30 PT, or will the days and times change?
Well, we've got a variety of days and times in the schedule because we know it's not going to work for everybody. And we do have an international cohort. So it's impossible to hold everybody to the standard of making every single live call. So I have put the schedule for as much as we know right now for live calls in the chat. I'll post it again. And I hope that you're able to make some of them, as many as you can, but you can also work with us in the forum and ask questions in advance when you know there's a call coming, and we can either handle those in the call for you or just reply in the forum for you. But believe me, everybody's needs get met one way or another when it comes to learning. So you're in good hands.
Thank you. Cola said, what do you consider end of day? I'm in the Pacific time zone. So for tomorrow, end of day, I believe it is midnight Eastern time, which is 9 p.m. in the Pacific time zone. But I think you'll have that spelled out in the emails that you get if you're on our list. So if you're somebody who's likes to wait, you sound like a last minute person. So I'll tell you what the last minute is. Yes, and we hope it works for you to join us. let's see. Robert and Gina said for the 6-month payment plan, if the fee can be paid sooner in say 3 months, will the total fee be less? Well, we really just have these two structures. You can pay all at once or you can pay over 6 months. I will say I do believe that like PayPal offers a service where you can pay for something and they'll pay it in full and then you pay them back over 6 months without any interest. You can look into that if you want to. We don't promote it widely, and here's the reason. After the 6 months or whatever the timeline is, they start charging high interest rates. And we don't love seeing people get into a position where they're in debt and they have to pay at those rates because they feel exploitive to me. And that's what their business model is based on. But if you feel confident that you'll be able to pay it off within the allotted time window, I believe you can get that credit from PayPal for a big discount. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research, but that may be a resource that you want to consider if you can pay it sooner, but not maybe all at once right now. Let's see, we heard from Camille who said, are the live sessions for everyone all in one group call? Are there smaller group calls to facilitate learning on a more personal level?
Well, we do both. We have one live, our live calls are for the largest amount of people that can attend them. But that said, we also do breakout rooms. So we do small group experiences for practice and for like more intimate learning and bond making and understanding. So I'd say it's both.
Okay, great. Thank you. Then we heard anonymous attendee said, would you review if the program is recognized as training for the National Board of Health and Wellness Coaches process? So yes, just to recap that again, National Board of Health and Wellness Coaches is a certifying body. When one is certified by them, then one receives the ability to bill insurance companies in many cases, and it is a helpful exam to pass. They have ongoing CE requirements, and actually this program is part of that. So if you are already National Board of Health and Wellness Coaches certified, you will get CE credits, continuing education credits for participating. And in addition, if you want to, after graduating from Food Revolution's plant-based coaching certification, if you want to go on to become National Board of Health and Wellness Coach certified and to sit for their exam, then you can take the program from Lifestyle Prescriptions University that we are synced up with. That's a direct track for that, and you'll save $2,000 if you're a graduate of ours, and you'll also save 3 months off of the time to take that program. So it's kind of a fast track and a discount for a compliment and a next step for many people. Let's see, we heard from Donna who asked, can you comment about possible scholarships? I really want to do this, but financially is not possible right now. So Donna, thanks for asking. We do have a very limited number of full and partial scholarships. We focus largely on people who can use the program to reach a lot more people, particularly people in communities that are historically marginalized or where health outcomes are the worst. So people who are able to reach low-income communities or communities of color, people who have influence or capacity to do so, that's what we're especially looking for. It's part of our strategy of social change to reach the communities that don't have the financial resources otherwise, and to work with people who have leverage and impact there. Our mission is healthy, ethical, sustainable food for all. So this is really the for all part of that in a deep way. So if that aligns for you, then that's really what the scholarships are intended for, to advance the mission more deeply. And please be in touch with us if that's the case. We had another question about hours per week that are expected to complete the program. I think we covered that. Diane said, are the exams part of the course fee, or are there fees involved to take the exams? What's the minimum grade percentage to pass the exam? And is there a second try for the exam if the minimum is not met? Tracy.
So the exams are included. There's no separate fee for that. And even if you do go after graduation and you want to collect those the 24 CEUs for the NBHWC, or I think it's the CPU, there's no extra fee. I know some programs do charge more for that, but we include it. The minimum grade to pass the exam is 70%. There is no time limit to take the exam. It's not a timed exam, so you can take your sweet time. You can even leave and come back. You can, if you don't get that 70% mark, you'll see what you got wrong, and so that you can use it as a real learning opportunity and go back and, figure out what those answers should be and take it over again. So, and you can retake it as many times as you need to pass. So we really are focused on you learning the material. That's what we are focused on. So we want you to get them right. So I don't know if you're like me, you'll take it until you get 100%. That's, to each their own.
Yes. Thank you. We love having a perfectionist leading the charge because Tracy knows how to get the details right and leaves no stone unturned. Pamela said, can this course be accepted at the ICF, International Coaching Federation, for credits?
It was not reviewed by the ICF yet. We've got a list of other potential CEUs to go after, including for nurses. We love our nurses, and we are looking into that as well. I will say, though, that if you're an RD, we are in the middle of our application on that. So that's still in review, and we don't have control over the timing of that. But in the meantime, if you are an RD and you're looking for continued credit for that, you can submit this course as an activity, and they'll give you the credits for that.
And we're hoping to have it officially recognized with the Association of Nutrition and Dietetics soon, but we can't promise that yet. James said, I took the leap and I'm looking forward to a new beginning. Wonderful, James. Hooray. Congratulations. Can't wait to share it all with you. Christine said, after deposit and acceptance to the program, when is payment due if paying in full? Within 2 weeks of being accepted to the program. Christian said, would it be possible to follow just Pillar 1? I'm already a certified health and wellness coach. Christian, thanks for asking. No, we don't offer a la carte on that. This is a comprehensive and complete program. And here's why. There's lots of people that have done different pieces of training in different spaces. But if you're going to be certified by FRN, we want to know that you understand our body of work and you can implement it. And there are people who call themselves coaches or are certified as coaches, but they don't know how we do plant-based coaching, right? And we don't want, it's a certain kind of level of quality control for us to assure that people have got that understanding. And as well, the impact pillar is also really valuable. So even if you've got coaching skills, do you have plant-based coaching skills? Do you have plant-based nutritional knowledge at this depth? And do you have the impact pillar skills to be able to build a business, to be able to scale a business, to be able to get a job or make this a career path, and to be a game-changing change maker in communities? So these are all part of what we're offering, and plus the community aspect of it, which is really cohesive. So it's not an a la carte situation. Jessica said, can you say whether we will have full access to materials of future year programs once we've graduated, as new speakers join and new materials are updated, joining calls with future cohorts, etc.? And I would say, Jessica, thanks for asking. I think the way we're structuring it at this point is that graduates from any cohort have the opportunity to join a future year's cohort and participate fully in all the content. That way, any new changes that get updated are there for them, but also they get to be part of all the live calls, do the journey again. And I think typically, I mean, that could change, but right now that's an extra $1,000, right, for the next year, which is a pretty amazing opportunity for folks. And we have quite a few folks who do want to do that. And they also make the community richer for all the new folks, because there's that sort of, those sort of ringers, if you will, coming in. Let's see. Paul said, I have a Master of Public Health and Epidemiology. Would that help in getting clients as a coach? Tracy, you want to address that?
I would say, yeah, that sounds like a fantastic 1-2 punch. We've got some very highly credentialed people that take this course in various areas of specialty. We've had, and they end up adding coaching as an additional service. Like we've had a pediatrician comes to mind who recognized that the core of the problem for her children that she was working with was that the parents didn't really understand plant-based nutrition at all. She couldn't give them advice that was useful. So she started offering these group coaching classes to the parents of these kids so that she could really impact their whole family. And And that was an additional service that was not part of her existing business. So you can take whatever it is you're doing and add to with the coaching. So I would just say yes, and to that.
Awesome. Thank you. We had a question from Koala, I guess, who said, thanks, I need to check with my clinic director to make sure I can coordinate with my work schedule to maximize my time in the program. I'll know tomorrow afternoon. Awesome. That's great. Good timing. You'll know tomorrow afternoon. Thanks for taking action on that and seeing what you can do. Of course, keep in mind, everyone, that all the content is recorded and or timeless. So although it is wonderful to participate in the live programs and activities, that a lot of folks participate in different time zones, different regions of the world, and they do watch the recordings and participate in the forum, which is you know, you can engage in whatever time you're in. It's asynchronous and collaborative in that way. We also have a question, when is the midterm?
That is April 21st, 2025. And it's you get the midterm on the first week, and then you have a second week off. And over those 2 weeks, we also have the summit in there. So we hope it's inspiring and fun.
All right, amazing. I think that gets to all the questions that have made it to the Q&A section in the Zoom chat, some of them having been pulled over, of course, from the comments on the broadcast page. So now I know, thank you all for staying on with us. We've gone a little bit long, but we just want to complete our time today with a little question for you. How are you? How is this feeling? Are you interested? Are you interested in what this means for you in your life? You know, there's that old saying that the two most important days of your life are the day you were born and the day you discover why you were born. So if you're feeling a sense of calling or quickening, an excitement in your chest, a feeling of possibility that maybe, just maybe, you could be a part of something big that makes a difference in the lives of others, that makes a difference in the world, that maybe this could be a next step in your path and journey of service, of contribution, of discovery, of health, then we would love to open this door really wide for you and invite you to step through it. So again, here's how it works. There's only 300 participants available, slots available for the cohort that starts in January, so we can facilitate a small group learning environment. You go ahead and submit a $100 application deposit at certification.foodrevolution.org, and then you're invited to apply. If we find it's not a good fit, we refund your fee, but most people are accepted. And then you have 2 weeks to complete your payment, with options for a payment plan or to save money by paying in full. And if you apply or get your deposit in by the end of day tomorrow, you'll qualify for exclusive discounts and bonuses.
I would say that getting just 1 or 2 clients can cover this investment. And the skills that you learn here and gain with us will serve you for life. Many graduates say that the personal transformation alone is worth the cost, even before starting their coaching journey. You can try to figure this out on your own, piecing together bits of training, or you can let us guide you on a clear and proven path. This program is the shortcut I wish existed when I started. It took me years and thousands of dollars to gain this knowledge that we all now have in one place. So we designed this program to give you everything you need to start working with clients and changing lives right away. And if you're still on the fence and think speaking with someone on our team might be helpful, we invite you to consider booking a free clarity call with one of our expert advisors at the Food Revolution Network. A clarity call can be incredibly helpful because it provides you with personalized guidance to see if the plant-based coaching certification is the right fit for you. You'll get to ask questions about the curriculum, opportunities, and how this program aligns with your goals. This call also offers insights into how this certification can help you make a meaningful impact in your community, improve lives, and build a fulfilling career, all tailored to your specific needs. And our expert advisor can help you assess your context and decide if this program makes sense for you at this stage of life. The webpage to book that call is certification.foodrevolution.org /clarity-calls. We'll put it in the chat. And Ocean, let's pass it
Yeah.
back to you.
Good, but just to say it one more time in case you're avidly taking notes and you don't want to miss it, and we will put it in the chat, but it is certification.foodrevolution.org/clarity-calls. I'm going to say that one more time in case somebody's scrambling, being like, oh my gosh, I can't write that fast. Certification.foodrevolution.org/clarity-calls. So, folks, check in with yourself now. You've got an inner wisdom. You've got a guidance inside yourself, how you make decisions, what your gut tells you. We're not here to do a heavy sales job. We're here to help you attune to your own path and your own truth. And we want to open the door wide because we believe that this program is a game changer, perhaps for your life and also for our strategy of how we can change the world. So if you join in today or tomorrow with a deposit and then continue on the path with us, you'll get our most generous collection of bonuses. You'll get the discounts that are available today, and you'll start the journey. And I want to remind us all what's at stake here, because we know food is the foundation of health. And when you help people get healthy, you can change their life in such a profound way. At Food Revolution Network, we get to hear almost every day from folks who tell us how our work has helped them reverse disease and lose weight and feel better, sometimes than they have in their whole lives. We want you to be able to have that same joy. So if what you've heard today aligns with your sense of purpose, and if you're passionate about helping other people get healthy, and if you want to help build a healthier world, and that's part of what lights you up, then now is the time to take the next step.
Right now, millions of people are suffering and navigating their health challenges alone. You could be the one to show them how food can be their greatest ally. This is your opportunity to be a trailblazer in one of the most critical movements of our time. If we don't change the way we eat, we risk catastrophic consequences. So this is not just for our health, but also for the planet. The success of Food Revolution Network shows that people are hungry for a change, and you could be at the forefront of this movement.
Yes, you can. We're at a tipping point in history, and I think future generations are going to look back on what we did today, and they'll either be very grateful or very upset with us, or maybe some of both. We all get to decide how we're going to respond to this moment in history and what we're going to do. You know, you can't save the world by yourself. You know, you're one of 8 billion people. But, you know, Helen Keller said it. She said, I'm one person. I can't do everything. But just because I can't do everything does not mean I will refuse to do that which I can. So what can you do? How can you be a part of the revolution? And what resources do you need to support you on that path? We're here to help you and stand with you and work with you. And if that's something that inspires you, then we invite you to visit certification.foodrevolution.org. Send in your deposit, send in your application, send in your payment when you're accepted. And remember, you've got nothing to lose. Your application fee is completely refundable if you wind up not enrolling. But of course, it counts towards your tuition when you do, and it gets you in the game with all the discounts that are available for a limited time.
But please don't wait to apply, because we do have a hard cap on the number of participants, and we only offer this program once a year. So now's the time to apply and save your spot.
Thanks again, everyone, for making the time to join us for this workshop, for staying on even late with us today. I know we're a little long, but we wanted to share all this and get to all the questions we could. We are so excited to work with you to amplify this mission, to spread the word, to inspire people, to create change on this planet. Together, we can build a food revolution. We can be a part of the solution. We can heal lives. We can help heal the world. How precious is that? And my gosh, we get to do it with some pretty awesome people. I think you're one of them. Hope to see you in the program. Let's do this. Food Revolution Network is a community of nearly 1 million people who are committed to healthy, ethical, sustainable food for all. We've sent 1 billion educational messages to activists and change makers in over 160 countries. Our online summits have reached more than 2 million. We've brought more than 300,000 people together for our campaigns for transparent food labeling and to get nutrition taught in medical schools. Worldwide, health and wellness is now a $1.5 trillion per year industry. Never before have so many people been fired up about enjoying a plant-based lifestyle. If you're passionate about helping other people make the transition from knowing what to do to doing what they know, you're in the right place. Join our thriving community as a Food Revolution Network certified plant-based coach. Together, we will help to change the way the world eats. You're going to learn about the fundamentals of plant-based nutrition,
vegetables, fruits, legumes, calcium and iron, macronutrients, phytonutrients, controversies, and my greatest tips for how to make plant-based eating irresistible.
You'll find out about the art of strategic coaching to fuel behavior change.
A great coach does more than just tell people what to do.
How do you encourage intrinsic motivation?
Coaching is about meeting people where they are, co-creating a personalized plan for success.
And we'll look at proven strategies for making an impact. We want to help you not just make a difference doing good, but also to make a good living.
If you can develop a practice that consistently helps people on a path to health and wellness, you can change their life in an utterly profound way.
So if you want to get real skills in nutrition, coaching, and impact that you could apply in your own life, join us. Our whole team can't wait to see you